Aero Plumbing and Heating for everything from maintenance to energy service or unit replacements. Right now, you can get a new furnace from Aero starting at just $67.50 a month plus a $650 Sask Energy rebate. That part keeps both of us happy. Call the straight shooters at Aero Plumbing and Heating or visit aeroplumbing.ca.
Aero Plumbing, Heating and Air.
This wasn't an animal, and it wasn't human either. Take that!
Sometimes you need to work outside in the cold. Maybe not battling a snow beast, but regular work. Prairieland Rental has heaters, generators, and all the things you need when you work outside. You can even rent skid steers to move snow and deal directly with the owner.
Take that and that!
Prairieland Rental, 600 Albert Street, prairielandrental.com.
It's 3:04, and I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast. Partly sunny at times today, and some isolated showers or flurries, and we haven't reached our high of 3 yet. Tonight, clear and a low of -3. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny and a high of 12. And on Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 10. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's cloudy. Winds from the northwest at 21, and it's +3. Regina is cloudy. Winds from the northwest at 24, and it's +1. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Calling all farmers, ranchers, and producers. Did you know you hold the key to a resilient agriculture future? Donate to Agriculture in the Classroom Saskatchewan and help connect students with agriculture. Together, we can cultivate a generation that understands, appreciates, and champions the heart of farming. A sustainable future begins with investing in education today. Make a charitable donation to Ag in the Classroom at aitc.sk.ca/donate.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936. 6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Oh. I like that intro music, but then it just goes away so quick. Like I always like to talk over when the guy, it sounds like bongo drums. Colson, is that you cutting it quick over there? Possibly.
I'll do better.
No, you know what? I'm just wondering. I thought maybe it was a cold stop. I'm not aware of it. It's Tuesday. It's for Saskatchewan Lotteries. It's the all-new Sportscage. If you're watching the stream, you see him right there. Chris Harris is with me for the next 3 hours. An exciting part to the week whenever you and I just get to sit and talk sports for 3 hours, amongst other things. The show today is for Saskatchewan Lotteries. And if there was ever a time to run out and grab yourself a Sports Select ticket, it is today. Because I was like counting and I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. Every NHL team plays today. Every single one that's in the league that has paid their fees, they are playing hockey today. 40 hours of hockey during a 7.5 hour span. So we're going to run down that. All Canadian teams are in action. I think the first one starts here right away. You might have to do a live sprinkle while we're on the show here and see how we do. Since you guys talked me out of my, was it David Andrews? Yeah.
Mark
Andrews. Sorry, David Andrews. Mark Andrews touchdown bet yesterday, and he ended up getting 2. So, yeah, well, we got to bounce back with maybe some hockey. Riders back on the practice field today. It was snowing. Kind of. We don't really call it snow if you're from here. You know what it was. The weather wasn't great. Dave Thomas was down there. I can't wait to talk to Dave Thomas because it sounded at one point like there was a fire at Mosaic Stadium. There was smoke. He turned his camera around. I did see the video evidence. I'm very curious as to what that was. It didn't look like steam, and where it was coming from, I don't think it could be steam. So, Dave, you're going to chime in here, Curtis?
Yeah, it was just the Riders heating up for the playoffs.
Oh, wow. That cheesy segue brought to you by... so Dave will join us in about 20 minutes' time here. Back on the practice field, one notable omission from practice today. Coach Mace is going to talk about it here right away. Arash Madani joins us in hour 2. Arash will want to talk everything about, play some Major League Baseball, some NFL, some NHL, who knows where else. 4:30, interesting one. Hoping to get Jeremy Roenick, who's in Weyburn on Thursday for an event. Talk to JR. And I know, Harry, everyone's talking to JR about the Hall of Fame. And he says, hey, it's been a while. That's fine. I texted him today and I said, we want to kind of go in a few different directions. Because I'm sure you're, I'm in the Hall of Fame. It's great, yes, but can we maybe go a couple other different ways? So it'll be fun to talk to him. Hour 3, Glen Suitor comes in, and then Benny Walchuk, he is on the bone shaker right now to Flin Flon. So we got to put the SJHL report to 5:25, 5:30. Interesting news from the Yorkton Terriers on them losing their points for the 3 wins with the illegal player. Now they're appealing. I sent the release to you, Harry, and it's it's almost like, what did it say here? I love it. Hey, Yorkton, I love you out there. Daj Bože, right? Nazdrovia. They have announced their intentions to appeal the recent decision by the league to deduct points from their games due to alleged use of an illegal player. I like it. Alleged use of a legal player. The team firmly believes that the ruling was unjust, and it is committed to ensuring that the situation is rectified. We owe it to our players, fans, and entire Yorkton community to appeal this decision and uphold the integrity of our team. I love that. That's the line I love. And it's like,
for sure.
You know what? Wrong, but we're going down swinging.
Yeah, we're doubling down.
Yes. So how quick could that process be?
Yeah.
Did you guys send this in on October 4th? No. Did he play those games? Yes. Okay, we're done here.
We're done. Yeah.
I would. Hey,
See you
again,
next week.
We're just having fun with you, Yorkton Terriers. I would love to know how it's going to go. I'm always up for a good scrap. Yeah, appeal it again. Take it higher. Take it to Hockey Canada. What's higher than Hockey Canada these days? Although they got their own issues. Just keep appealing. Whatever. But at the end of the day, it's 3 wins. Like, imagine, we talked about this yesterday. Imagine if they wouldn't have caught it for 15 games.
Yeah.
Like, now you're in big trouble. So that's the full show. A lot to get to. When you walked outside today, right? Like, isn't it? It's so weird. You work outside a lot in your regular job. I don't get it that how our bodies react or how they're made here, because it is -4 as I go to take the garbage out this morning. I think I'm prepared in short pants and a hoodie, and it feels like I've never been north of the equator. It feels like it's -35. And I'm like, and I think getting older, obviously, whatever happens with the blood and the circulation's not as good. I get all that, but I'm just like, this isn't even cold. Like, come March, when I go take the garbage out on a day like today, it'll be tarp off. Like, it'll be so warm.
Yeah.
It's just so weird how the weather on our bodies, and we get accustomed to it. And we are a different breed up here. Like, we are absolutely weird for going through what we go through temperature-wise. Like, the coldest of cold and the hottest of hot. Like, well, not the hottest of hot, but really hot.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And that old joke is like, why do I live somewhere where the air hurts my face?
Yeah.
Like, why do we do this? Why do we put ourselves through it? And then always the popular response is, oh, because we can, because we're tough, because we're just built different. But I mean, we don't A lot of us are just forced to live here. If we could live somewhere else that didn't have winter, I would take that 99 times out of 100.
I think I like winter. Like, I think I like snow. I like the wind. I would like it in the mountains.
Sure.
Like, I'd like to wake up and have a coffee and look at the mountains when it snows. Not, a dead bush across the street and some, what the heck are those things that we have in our area too? They're like partridges. I don't know if this is the time of the year where they start becoming bonkers, but they're everywhere in our neighborhood. Partridges. So the Riders were on the practice field in this weather today, and it was probably cold for some of them, but then once they get running and yada yada, that would be bad. Coach Mace talks to Dave Thomas, and notable omission from the team today at practice.
Coach, we come back from the bye week. No Roland Milligan Jr. on the practice field today. Can you update his status?
No, he'll be fine. I think just the sniffles or something. We send people home for the sniffles these days. So, no, I'm just joking. He was under the weather, so we're just playing it smart. Don't want to get anybody else sick.
Malik Carney, who is on the 6-game injured list, was back and taking reps with the first-team defense. Is there a chance we see him this week?
Yeah, just one of those things. We'll see. See how he feels out there on the practice field. So, we'll see how it goes.
Obviously, a different week of preparation in the fact that you could be battling for a first-place spot, or you could be playing a game that won't have any bearing on the final standings. So how do you approach the week?
Yeah, I just, like any week, to be honest with you, we can only control what we can, and we're trying to win a game this week. So, we stick to what we do and try to handle business like we try to do every week. That's the best thing we can do for this team. So that's all we can focus on.
So knowing that you need Montreal to beat Winnipeg before you get to the game to play a game for first place, are you going to watch that one before you get out on the field here?
Yeah, I don't know about watching it until, after our game's done. But I'm sure someone's going to tell me. I would hope somebody tells me something. But, timing-wise, it'll be obviously pretty tight. But, it's game day. You can ask my wife. I'm a bit of a weirdo, so I'm just going to be totally dialed on what we're doing. So, I'm sure somebody will tell me that.
Coach, you talk about the process. How important is it, end of the day, just to get the win on Saturday?
That's the main thing for us is we want to be playing our best ball going into the playoffs. So we got an opportunity this week against a team, obviously, that's from a schematical standpoint, we're familiar with each other. So again, another task for us. We were able to come out with a win versus team last time, but it wasn't like it was a walk in the park. It was a tough game. So we're expecting that again and just trying to play our best ball.
Now, the question that I get asked most often from fans is there ever going to be a time where we could potentially see A.J. Oled or Wyquel Armstead in the backfield running the ball together?
Definitely a possibility. You have to look at, we tell the guys specifically this week and moving in, we're going to find the best possible roster for ourselves. So if it presents itself that it's those two, obviously it's going to be at the expense of somebody else. If it makes sense for us that week, we're carrying forward and we'll get it done.
I love how that started. And then I loved your face, Harry. It's like, oh no, wow. Roland Milligan Jr. on the field. Coach Mace having fun with it. We send people home when they have the sniffles these days. That is. Hey, people out there, don't get offended if you're a sniffle police. So that's another thing. No, but that would be worrisome, obviously. And we're gonna hear Trevor Harris in a bit as well. And it's a real weird week. Can we bring Dave in? Might as well. Why wouldn't a guy? Dave's joining us right now. Like we talked about yesterday, Dave, and then we're going to hear from Trevor Harris in a bit. It's a weird one, right, to prepare for this week because you're kind of scoreboard watching.
Well, you're scoreboard watching, and I was doing some research trying to figure out what the actual CFL stipulations are as far as roster declaration goes, because there's going to be about 60 minutes or so between the games. So let's say that Winnipeg all of a sudden wins, right? So then the game becomes meaningless in the standings for the Roughriders. Can they go ahead and just switch up what they're going to do? And So it doesn't sound like they can make that. I think there's 3 game time decisions that they can make. So they got roster flexibility of 3 going in. So you have to play the game. And again, I think what the differing approach would be as to whether or not how the game is going, right? If you need the win to get first, then you make sure that you don't rest anyone at any time, if you know what I mean.
I think they should call the Yorkton Terriers and ask them about transferring players. And then, just kidding, Yorkton again. This could be just have fun with Yorkton Day. I like the question there you had though, because it's the question that I bet you I've been asked the question, and Cole, we've had the text messages over 100 times this year is why can't they put Ouellette and Armstead or Ouellette and whoever in the backfield at the same time. It's just tricky.
It's roster construction, right? Those are 2 American players, so you have to take another American out. Who are you going to sit? But again, Coach May says we're going to put the best roster on the field no matter what. So if there's an opportunity that we can make it happen, we're going to make it happen.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see though. It'd be really, really, really nice to see.
But there's only one football, Barney. Like, it would be great to see. It would be fantastic to have them 2 back there. But there's only one football. Only one of them can carry it.
I think I would. Hey, video game coach here, put them both and almost as a distraction. Like to focus. So what are they gonna? And then just man-to-man defense on the outside or something, and then just start airing it out. But that's crazy talk. What is What is Calgary bringing in this weekend? Right when you think of it. Like, let's be honest. We're professional athletes. We want to finish the job. We want to get you just want to go home.
Well, what was it Luke said once? That you got to make a business decision every once in a while, right? And hey, I don't know. If I've got a contract that's up, right? Like, number one, I got to put something on film. And if I don't have anything on film, I better show up and play so I can put something on film. And number two, if I've got enough on film, do I really want to get hurt? I don't know.
You already got plans when you get home. Yeah, no. Heading on a trip with the boys. That tackle is not on me. Anything else? What was going on with the fire?
Okay, there wasn't a fire. I did do investigative
you teased
reporting.
us twice today.
Oh no, I thought it was a fire because it wasn't like what it is there's some boilers on the 5th level apparently at Mosaic Stadium, and apparently this happens and the wind just happened to be right that it was coming back into the stadium. So it was just steam. And so I double checked, triple checked, because I'm like, that is not steam, that is smoke. And it looked like electrical fire, but no fire. Everything was good. And apparently fire crews have been called multiple times, especially when the stadium was just constructed, over people worried that it was on fire, but it's not fire.
Well, when you turned the camera around and you showed us, it did not look like steam.
I'll agree, right? And then I went and I actually investigated. I went upstairs. I went outside the building. I looked, and it was definitely coming from an exhaust valve or something.
Colson, do you want to check? Hold on. Your dad is used to be a volunteer fire chief, right? So is that why you want to chime in here?
No, I was just going to say that's probably why they built that fire station right next door. So the calls are just going to be 30 seconds instead of having to come halfway across the city.
I think the fire station was there before the stadium.
Wasn't it the old Mosaic Stadium, the old Taylor Field? Remember, wasn't it they put up the burning log on the old Maxtron, and somebody thought that the stadium was on fire, so they called the fire department in?
That is wasn't that the new stadium?
No, it was the old one. I'm sure of it.
I remember that story.
Top, yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that's. Matt, it would be awesome if that person is actually listening to the show and can call and let us know what you're. I seriously thought the stadium was on fire. We are playing SaskTel Pick the Score today for SaskTel 936-6262 Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. What is the score against the Stamps this weekend? We need your name, number, and where you're from. 2 tickets. We're going to award them today. If you're really close, then you go into the draw for a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card as well. All thanks to our friends at SaskTel. If you're watching the stream, we are going to have a little tease and an extra chance to win for you in a bit with the stream. Colson, your mic's on again.
Yeah, the burning log was in 2012. So old stadium.
Old stadium?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, no, I thought that fire station was erected in 2019. Point the finger. Yeah, big wrong guy. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, if you're watching that stream, sportscage.com, or listening on 620 CKRM.
Well, Trevor, interesting week.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op Liquor Stores. Now open in Harbor Landing and Rochdale Boulevard.
What type of vehicle should you use for a fall hayride?
I bet you're going to be punny.
An automobile?
Ugh. Whatever type of vehicle you drive, fuel up at Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
As a member, fueling up means
sharing in the equity.
Buy a car wash or some snacks from the C-store.
It's like putting money in the bank.
You better believe it.
Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week, it's an all-inclusive trip to the Dominican Republic, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
620 CKRM and the Sportscage are proud to be the voice of sports in Saskatchewan. Join the Sportscage for the monthly Fries Tallman Indigenous Athlete Showcase, highlighting builders, athletes, and coaches who have had an impact on Indigenous sports across the province. Fries Tallman Lumber in Regina and Fort Qu'Appelle is proud to support programs to uplift First Nations across Saskatchewan. The Fries Tallman Indigenous Athlete Showcase, exclusively on the Sportscage on 620 CKRM.
The campaign is underway. Get your Saskatchewan election coverage with Sask Votes 2024 on sasktoday.ca. Comprehensive coverage of the issues that are important to you. This includes candidate profiles, meeting the party leaders, and live coverage of the results election night. A dedicated team of journalists in your community bringing you the latest on the race. You'll want to be right there with them because they're right there for you. Get all Saskatchewan election coverage at Sask Votes 2024 on sasktoday.ca.
The all-new Sports Cage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
SaskTel picked the score 936-62-62. If you want to know, if you want to get in on that winning as well. We mentioned that Dave did have a chance to catch up with starting quarterback Trevor Harris at practice today. And as we just talked about a few minutes ago, Dave, you had a chance to ask him, say it's kind of a weird one where you're scoreboard watching.
Well, Trevor, interesting week. Playing Calgary could potentially be a game for first place, or it may not be.
Yeah, out of our control. We're just, preparing as just a normal week. Playoff week, and that's kind of where we're at, and I'm just excited to be back playing. I didn't want to have a bye week. I felt like we were starting to roll in, and just excited to be back out here.
You talk a lot about the approach of this team to games. How important is to maintain that consistent approach?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to us focusing on us, because like I've been saying, it's not about the result. The result is, us getting in the playoffs. That's important, but it's more about who we're becoming in the process. And I think that we're becoming the team that we really want to be. And that's why I didn't really want the bye week. I wanted to just get back out here. So just glad it's out here. Glad we're back.
How much will you be paying attention to the Montreal-Winnipeg game?
I have a feeling they'll probably be updating us here. I think we'll get probably play-by-plays, and people will tell us what's going on. But that's not out of our focus. It's out of our control. And so whatever happens. We're focused on Calgary.
That said, what would a first place finish mean to this group?
Oh, it would be incredible. But again, out of our control. We haven't earned the right to make this game for first place. We didn't earn that right. Winnipeg has, and if they falter, then we're taking all donations. And so we'll go out there and play and do what we can do. But it's really just about us going out there and just focusing on executing versus Calgary. It's not about us waiting on their game. We're focused on Calgary, and whatever happens.
Now, you mentioned earlier that it was tough. You didn't want to have that bye week last week. You wanted to keep the momentum rolling. How big is momentum at this time of year?
Huge. And I think it's something that I know people don't talk a lot about at this point is momentum and continuing that momentum. And like I said, developing into the team we want to be. There's no time for backward steps. There's only time for forward steps, pressing the envelope, and making sure that everybody's staying focused and staying honed in on what we want to do and what we're trying to accomplish.
Interesting comment there at the beginning where he's like, Winnipeg deserves that right. Winnipeg is the team. I don't play them, right? Like Harry, like if they're scoreboard watching and it doesn't go the way we want it to go, okay, Trev, go have a hot tub, do whatever you want.
Yeah, for sure, especially if it's decided already, if they know. It's funny because you can't help but pay attention to what's going on in another game. I always have a hard time when athletes say that, like, we're not going to worry about it. We're not going to worry about what they're doing. It's human nature. You're going to want to know what's going on in that other game. And it is going to dictate how the rest of your day goes. So you'd be crazy not to pay attention to it.
In my opinion, I think we see Trevor Harris, no matter what the outcome is in Winnipeg, for at least a half, because he is going to fight to play, because again, he's upset that he missed that time with the knee injury, number one. But number two, I've had an opportunity to watch how meticulous he is when it comes to his timing, his reads, and his mental preparation. And I think that he knows what a good thing that this team has got going right now. So to me, I wouldn't be shocked to see him start the football game, irregardless of what happens in Montreal.
He brought up an interesting thing about the bye week, and Jeremy O'Day touched on it on yesterday's show. It is an odd time to have the bye, and I was curious when he was asked, when is the good time? When would you rather have that bye? Are you okay with having it this late in the year? And it is kind of a weird, like, 1 week off, 1 week on kind of situation. I don't think that if they could have picked this bye week, they would have picked it.
Oh, absolutely not. They would have wanted to break up that 10 weeks in a row, right? They had the 10 games in a row, and if they could have broken up that, I think they would have been much happier.
It's like use that card at some point. Everyone was falling with injuries like flies. We're gonna use our bye week card right now, and then we're gonna use the other one right after, if possible. Call the other teams, let them know to book their stadiums. We're not coming. Again, facetiously, right, people? I don't. See. It's like the last time the three of us were together and we were talking about, it's the best sunset. It's the best picture. It's the adage. Yeah. No, we're going to do our thing. We're just one game at a time. We got to do what we got to do. We got to get ready. No, you're watching the game and then you're saying, I'm wearing sneakers. I get Dave. I think he is going to play. I think he will and wants to. It just scares me. I hate it. Maybe as a Patriots fan when Wes Welker went down in a nothing game and they didn't need to play him and he blows his knee out and I'm screaming at my 36-inch tube TV.
Oh, you didn't have a small plasma one like Michael Scott. Fair enough. I heard that's what you had. But anyways.
I did later. I did later, and then I had a big party around it.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. But what I'm going to say, just to add to your point, is that, nobody wants that worst case scenario to happen, but there's also something to be said with the rest versus rust argument, and having the bye week as late as the Riders did. And again, we saw what the bye week did for them, right? Their bye week came in week 3, right? Or week 4, pardon me. And then they also had that bye after the Labor Day rematch game. And now they've got on a roll. They've won their way out of those bye weeks. So I think they want to continue with that mojo and keep it going.
I appreciate the compete factor that he wants to play, but coach has got to coach. I don't care if he stands on the sideline, I'm going to hold my face till I turn blue. You're not going in. Like, that's just the way it's got to be, especially if it's for nothing.
And and there's a number of guys too that need some live reps, right? Some live bullets to knock off some rust before playoffs. So No, it'll be interesting. We'll catch up, and I'm sure Glen Suitor is going to want to talk about all this in hour 3. Keno, Dave, before we let you go, I want to talk about today because I'm sitting at watching, and there's like every NHL team is playing tonight. And where we are in 2024, we're spoiled. Like, our kids are so spoiled. Like, at the click of a button, you are instantly not bored. Like, when it was us, and it, like, when your parents subscribed to the cable package that had TSN as a kid, like, that was next level. I'm sure in Weyburn you guys had the same packages as everyone, right?
Oh yeah, we did have electricity too and phone service, just so you're aware. But
no, like, I'm
yes,
wondering
when we got TSN, I know it was a big momentous occasion. It was a good time. It was an upgrade because when TSN first came out, my mom bought this old black and white TV from Sears that she had from I don't know ever. And if you actually turned it to the east a little bit, you'd get TSN for free. It was a great day in Weyburn.
What?
Yeah, I know. Who knows why? I don't know.
What's the statute of limitations on that? You might owe some money to the cable
we're well
provider.
Beyond that. Well beyond that.
But because the reason why, and this is months ago, when Harry and I were in Saskatoon, I'm in Nashville, and I'm watching ESPN, and lo and behold, it comes on, and I'm like, no way. Now I got to watch this for at least a half hour. The World Roofball Championships. Come on. And Harry, we talked about this. Dave, did you see this? Did you see how this, do we have this? Can we put it up on the stream? We can't put it up on the stream. It is one of the craziest things I've ever seen on television that's been broadcast live is roofball. If you're out there, just do yourself a favor, look it up right now and watch it after, maybe in a commercial break. The bosses will say, don't take people away from the stream. In a commercial break, do it. But it got me thinking, like, what are some of the weirdest things, Harry, like, that we used to, when TSN came on, it was like, I remember it was 3/4 of it was Australia rules football. It was darts. It was Kiana's flex appeal, which was okay. And you just were hoping for some normal sport.
They used to have fishing. Fishing was on regularly. Bob Azumi's Real Fish in Canada. That man became a national treasure just because he had his own show. You had
forgot about that.
Lumberjack challenges. You had World's Strongest Man competitions from 1973 to 1982. Like, they put on the most obscure things. Like, we are starving for content. We got to put on anything that's on a Betamax tape. Throw it in. We'll watch it.
And I vividly...
3 words, boys.
Hiram Walker Pin Challenge?
Don't get eliminated.
Yeah. What was that?
Remember that show? That was that dub over show, right? Remember it was brought in from Asia or something, and they went ahead and they dubbed over it, right? Remember that show?
The Most Extreme Challenge. Challenge, that one. Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yes.
Was that like back in the day, or was that more modern?
Oh, that was back
No,
in
it
the
was
day.
90s.
Somebody just texted that was on Spike.
Spike TV, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then the fellas up north, Boxy and Hinky, mentioned darts. When TSN used to show darts all the time, all you darts fanatics out there, you will know this name. I don't remember it. Jockey Wilson. Oh. I guess he was like the dart guy. And TSN, we didn't have anything. There was no Sportsnet. There was no The Score. What was the one guy's name, Harry? I tried to look it up, and you will remember this. What was the one reporter's name? And I think he's passed away. He had crazy Cosmo hair.
Vince Cellini?
No, it wasn't Vince Cellini. And he's one of the first memories of sports television that I had. And then you were just hoping for that was long before the CFL ever moved to TSN. It was long before TSN was ever doing NHL hockey games.
Canadian or American?
He was Canadian. This guy was Canadian. No. Like he looked like a little bit like Crazy Ed. And he's just, I remember him like vividly. And then you just hoped for a normal sport to come on. Like that's all you wanted.
Remember what a revelation the score was when it came on? Because, you'd be in the midst of your PlayStation NHL 94 tournament with your pals on a whatever. And then all of a sudden, wait, we got to stop and check the scores. So you'd stop because you wouldn't see SportsCenter or whatever. And you just watch for that little ticker on the score to find out what happened with your team. Remember, like, are you going on the internet or anything? Like, man.
Oh, the score was so next level. And well, just like all the sport, it just everything evolved. Like people that are in our demo that we're talking to right now will totally know. They'll be like, yeah, like TSN, it didn't have anything, and now like the ESPN's down there. There's that pillow fighting. It's a legit. They're in a ring. It's the National Pillow Fighting Championship. That's another thing you can look up. Hey, there's no gas leak in the studio. These are honest to goodness things I'm telling you out there. It's crazy. I forgot about Bob Izumi fishing, but I do remember the Hiram Walker pin challenge, the bowling. Because then in high school, you'd always go bowling with your buddies and, have a couple and you'd be right, buckle, take the bus home. And then you'd be like, yeah, I was on the Hiram Walker pins challenge. Bowling was big, darts, Australian Rules football, weird crotch rocket racing, like that motorcycle racing was always on from Europe. We lived like, I'm just, so why, like I bring it because every single NHL game you can watch tonight. Like if you want to find it somewhere, somehow, you can watch it.
And maybe on the Ocho, but you'll find it.
The dark web. Okay. So Dave, let's catch up tomorrow. You don't remember any other ones. What was your top one that you remembered? Oh, the thing from Spike.
Yeah.
Oh,
that wasn't really
extreme
a
challenge.
Yeah.
Remember Kiana's Flex Appeal? I don't know what time that came on, but I was into fitness for that hour. I was. Bought a membership at CalFit. Kid Davis talking tomorrow. Thanks so much. Voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dave Thomas, joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, all the Greek food you like souvlaki, ribs, and salad. I just can't make that goodness at home. Harry and I are back. Let's take a quick break. If you're watching the stream, we got some special winning for you in a moment.
The new king of trucks in Southeast Saskatchewan is Southie Mainline Chrysler. Get $1,500 bonus cash on select Jeep Grand Cherokees. You can also get up to 15% off on select Pacificas, up to $18,000 off on select Ram 1500s, or 0.99% for 72 months financing. It's the new king of trucks in Southeast Saskatchewan, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Visit SouthieMainline.ca. Southie Mainline Chrysler, worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
Another great opportunity is here with Yorkton Auction Center. The Gabbard Farm Auction is open for bidding and will be closing Wednesday, October 23rd. Don't miss your chance to bid on grain trucks, a cat scraper, Kello disc, heavy harrows, augers, and more. The clock is ticking. Get in on the action and place your bids now. It's the Gabbard Farm Auction closing Wednesday, October 23rd. Visit YACauctions.com. That's YACauctions.com.
Saskatchewan families are feeling the squeeze. Rising costs, long waits for healthcare. It's easy to point fingers at Ottawa, but let's be honest, change needs to start here in Saskatchewan. It's time for a provincial government that puts Saskatchewan families first, one that invests in healthcare, education, and crown corporations, a government that works for you. On Election Day, vote for a better future. It's time for change, right here at home.
Hi, this is Stephen Arndt from the Tire Stewardship of Saskatchewan. We're the ones responsible for recycling your tires. We're a non-profit corporation that was established to serve as the scrap tire recycling program operator in Saskatchewan, approved by the Ministry of the Environment. We're responsible to all stakeholders, including consumers who pay the tire environmental fee, the collectors, the Ministry of the Environment, and the people of Saskatchewan. Visit tssk.ca to see how you can recycle your tires.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
I've received personally to my cellular telephone 3 pictures of Kiana's flex appeal. Just in that commercial break. See, people remember. We should bring it back. It should be a segment. No, it shouldn't. But and then somebody on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line, it's Gino Retta. It wasn't Gino Retta. I know who Gino Retta is. This guy I'm thinking about, Peter Watts. Was there a Watts? I've got to look that up. Watts.
There's a Wells.
No, Wells passed on too. He was really good. That was John Wells. Yeah, he was good.
John Wells.
He was good. Gino was OG for sure. I think it was Peter Watts. Can you look at? Is there a picture? Let me just look up a picture of Peter Watts here.
You're throwing me with the hair.
Talk amongst yourself.
The hair is where I'm.
No, it
I
definitely
can't
is
picture
not
somebody
this.
with crazy hair.
Once I figure this out, it's going to take you back to like 1989 for sure. And then somebody else texted in here. I remember this. Snooker. We used to have to sit and watch snooker as kids. It was a different time. And then our parents would talk about how they didn't have any TV. We used to have to listen to Danny Gallivan and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever, old man, I'm going out. And then now we are like, I'm telling my kids how fortunate they are to be able to go onto Prime and watch this NHL series. Have you watched it?
I've seen some of it, yeah.
And? Thoughts?
It's good. I mean, it's just like all the others. It's like Full Swing, Breakpoint, all those. It's just the hockey version. It's good. It's really good, yeah.
Because I lean on you as you're probably one of the movie critic guys in my that I can go to. And we've known each other for so long, and I've done this. I can text you and be like, will I like this? Because you know me well enough. No. Should I watch this? And you'll be like, no, don't waste your time. Because you might like it or somebody else might like it. I just won't like it. I really, really, really liked the Amazon thing or the Prime thing. It was like the rest of them. Maybe it's just because it was hockey.
Have you? Yeah, I was going to say, have you done the other ones? Because I could see how you would like this one maybe more because it's hockey, but like the other ones are really good. Like the Breakpoint. I know you haven't watched Breakpoint, but it's really good.
You told me to watch it, and I did have it downloaded at one point for travel purposes, and I didn't watch it, so it just deleted. And I watched Full Swing, which was good. I tried to get into that Receivers one. I know it's a little bit different. Didn't do it for me.
Right.
Yeah, no, but it's just a look behind. Somebody, Howard Costel was the guy with the fuzzy hair. I love this.
I think they're thinking of Howard Cosell, and he had like super slicked hair.
No,
and he's American.
It's definitely not. Yeah, I know. No, thanks for the text though. That's not him. I'm gonna figure this out at some point in the next little bit. We need some SaskTel pick the score. Do you want to go to the football game on Saturday and watch the Stamps and the Riders? It could be a massive game. Regardless, it's going to be good. We need the score of the game, your name, number, and where you're from, 936-6262. If you're watching the stream right now, let us know what I am holding up at 936-6262, and then we're going to give 2 tickets to someone on the stream as well. Just what is this? Hopefully you can... Hopefully you know what
can't
it
crack
is.
this one.
It's not that difficult. Sunday at Leibel Field here, the Regina Thunder and the Okanagan Sun in the national semifinal. With Dave yesterday, we go back to our years of covering. It was for us, it was the Hilltops, but junior football and a chance to advance a national championship. Obviously, Regina doesn't have near what Saskatchewan have, but they're growing. Like this organization from Murad, built it down. Macaulay yesterday. It's a chance. It's a chance to do something special. And and you're at home, right? Like it's here. I would like to see the weather a little bit colder. Remember those? Which ones stand out to you in junior football, like championships or games? Because it's just raw, just emotion and passion. And there's going to be mistakes, right? There's going to be a tip ball interception, or someone's going to fumble it, or it's like high school football at its highest when you get to. It's just so exciting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's the two best teams in theory that have made it that far, and it's funny because I kind of go back and forth where the field, like you guys talked about it yesterday about how Gordie Howe and they scraped it after the high school teams beat the hell out of it, and then they scraped it. It was basically like a parking lot. But you would hate to see a football game be decided by the field conditions. You want the two best teams to go duke it out, shoot it out, and so that's why it's nice that they all have the turf fields now and the nice high-end facilities. But there is something to say for that war of attrition where it's just like, if you've got the most heart and you can deal with getting hammered on concrete for 60 minutes, you're going to come out ahead and you're going to be a national champion. So it's kind of both ways. I can see it both ways, but yeah, you definitely want to take that next step and make it to that national championship.
1:00 on Sunday at Leibel Field. We are going to talk to one of the Thunder players tomorrow on the program, and we'll keep hyping it up here as the week goes on, as it is a big one for us. Peter Watts, TSN anchor. There it is. Look it up on your Google. Unfortunately, he did pass away. I think it was a couple of years ago. Rest in peace, Peter. But when I see him in that old school TSN jacket, it just takes me back to the old days of TSN. Man, that would have bothered me. Peter Watts on TSN.
The funniest part of this, he hasn't passed. He is 66 years old.
Peter, we might have to get him on. We might have to get him on the program. See, I was thinking of John Wells. I was thinking of John Wells then. I got that's on me. Hey. Send your hate mail or
the fact checking is second to none. We'll just throw it out at it. He's dead. God rest his soul. No, he's not dead. He just got the Order of Canada. Oh, that's what I meant. He's got the Order of Canada. He's not dead at all.
Don't worry, Barney. I'll wear this one. No. Here, I found the actual article now. Yes, he has passed back in 2019.
What are we doing here? What is going on? If you're watching the stream, I'm like, I don't get red, but I'm red, and then now I'm just like, I got tears in my eyes.
Okay, yes. Former TSN broadcaster Peter Watts passed in 2019 at the age of 68. No, I clicked on the wrong link. That is my bad.
Well, it was a good show we had. It's going to be off the air now because we are just two mooks who don't know what's going on.
What is going on? There are 16 NHL games today. Like I said, every single team is playing. We're getting text messages about Peter Watts. Hopefully it's not from his family.
I don't even know. I got nothing. That's
We gotta go to break. We gotta go to the break. Here's the Sportscage on 620 CKRM.
Hopefully we'll be back.
This is Country Gold with Steve Harmon. Your home for the country hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Hello, I'm Steve Harmon, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week we play country favorites from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and we check in with the stars who made them, too. This weekend on Country Gold.
Country Gold, brought to you by Trent Dickin and his experienced team at Flooring Superstore. Saturday mornings at 6 and Sunday afternoons at 4 on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Winter brings tougher driving weather, and that means it's time to winter up those tires on your vehicle. Regina Motor Products has got an offer that will make your ride safer and your wallet happier. Before you hit the snowy open road, get your tires swapped for winter, with rebates as high as $120 off a full set of winter tires. You don't want to wait. Book now and be ready for all that cold stuff. Visit rmpchevrolet.com.
Your friends at Prairie Gun Traders in Avonlea have exactly what you need this fall. From muzzle loaders, rifles to shotguns, you are totally covered this hunting season. Plus, browse through their great selection of ammunition, optics, calls, trail cams, scents, knives, and more. The hunting store that has it all at Prairie Gun Traders in Avonlea. You have a friend in the game. Main Street, Avonlea, or check out prairieguntraders.ca.
Your co-op grow team are your local experts because we live here too. Our agronomic specialists stay up to date with the latest research and technology to help support your entire farm operation. Talk to our team for advice tailored to your farm's needs. We have recommendations to help you optimize your crop yield and quality while enhancing the health of your land. Co-op, we're all growing together. Here for your farm, here for your family. Learn more at coop.crs/farm.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when... Uh-oh.
There are some things that can get spoiled. A sunny day, maybe.
Aw, and no umbrella or anything.
And then there's Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, where they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features. With such a wide selection and so many great plans, nothing can spoil it.
Yay, rain!
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
The all-new Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Oh, I don't know.
Hey!
I don't know how
We're
we
still
bounce
on.
back. I don't know how we bounce back. If you're watching the stream, this is a grown man with tears in his eyes. I was laughing so hard. I also got a cramp that I can't get rid of in my rib cage from laughing dead serious. There's some of these text messages I can't read, but that Roscoe, that is funny. You know who you are. That's hilarious. Ron and Deb out in Pigeon Lake. Some people are mentioning in the strongman competitions. They remember old school on 70s and 80s. It was more 80s because TSN didn't come on until the 80s. Late at night strongman competitions. But do you think about it? They had it would have been hard to fill programming for 24 hours when there wasn't a lot of live and maybe it's because you and I worked in TV. We know the amount of production, especially back then, that would have had to go into, all right, guys, we're going to cover this race of whatever. It's hard.
And the problem they would have run into is that everyone would have already had their TV deals and their TV rights. So they had the rights to nothing. So they had to go out and shoot their own stuff, shoot the strongman competition, shoot the lumberjack challenges, because they're like, we got to put something on the air.
And then just negotiate with down south or Sky over in Europe and be like, what can you send us? Well, we'll send you this street racing on motorbikes from Barcelona. Sure, we'll take it. At this point, we're in. We'll sandwich that between billiards and Kiana, or billiards and darts, whatever. What's his name? Jockey Wilson, the world famous dart guy. The bowling, the Hiram Walker. I think for me, as a kid, it just made me want to drink Hiram Walker. Is that a bad thing? What, Curtis?
Speaking of all these crazy old school TV shows, do you have any, if you could pitch one of these shows to run now?
A sport?
Yeah, what would you do?
One of the old ones?
Something new? But
Kiana Flex Appeal. 1,000%. Cherry flavored Pez. That's a stand by me joke.
Easy. Yeah. The one that I came across that is super obscure that I would love to see now, it was called Slippery Stairs.
What?
Yeah. So they broadcast it. Of course, as you could expect, it originated in Japan, where all the wackadoo sport extreme stuff originates. And
like that one on Spike came from Japan too.
Yeah. So basically you're in a wetsuit, which is already potential to be slippery, and then they're on stairs that are slick, and you have to get up the stairs and ring a bell at the top. And as you can imagine, there was a lot of spills and a lot of wipeouts. So if you kind of had the desire to see people break their neck falling down stairs, then this was the program for you.
What?
So I would like to see that. That's interesting. Slippery stairs.
Oh man, and I get a picture of my other rotator cuff being torn as I fall down a flight of stairs in a wetsuit, which is not flattering anymore.
They'd have a vending machine for MCLs.
Yeah. The World Juniors, though, and then they got the World Juniors, like when TSN got the World Juniors, and then they made it. Now it's like a little, it's way over the top as far as a made for TV thing. But that was pretty cool when they did that. And then there was no eating challenges back then. That didn't come until like the hot dog eating thing.
Yeah.
Well, it was the pie eating contest in Stand By Me. Where what was the boss man? Well, what was the DJ's name? I got to think about it. So much fun. It's an hour already in the books. Hour 2 is going to start with Arash Madani. Arash is definitely going to remember some old school sporting TV things.
I think it was the boss man, Bob Cormier.
The boss man, Bob Cormier, in the pie eating contest on Stand By Me. That's why you're here, Harry. It's a lovely thing. See you all in the Sportscage. If you're watching the stream, remember, text in, what am I holding up? Chance to win 2 Rider tickets to the game on Saturday. And also we're playing Pick the Score, 936-6262. Time for a break. Come back. Arash Madani. It's all in the Sportscage on the stream, sportscage.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's mostly cloudy and it's +1 in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Sherwood Co-op. Proud supporter of our community with over 500 donations to local charities and nonprofits annually, and by Mercedes-Benz Regina. For those who can, Mercedes-Benz-Regina.ca. Former Saskatchewan Party MLA Gary Greywall was found to have broken conflict of interest rules by having his 2 hotels, the Sunrise Motel and Thrift Lodge Motel, contract with the Ministry of Social Services. A report by Commissioner Maurice Haroff revealed that Greywall was informed in December 2023 to stop these contracts, but he continued to do business with the province. Since 2018, the province has spent $732,000 on these contracts. The government has since revised its policy, now requiring quotes from 3 hotels before choosing the most affordable option, with consideration for client safety. Also today, Rahal Singh, the Saskatchewan Party candidate for Regina Northeast, reported finding 2 bullet holes in the window of his campaign office last night. Singh expressed concerns for his volunteers' safety, noting the incident went beyond the theft of campaign signs. However, after investigation, police determined that the damage was not caused by a firearm. The matter remains under investigation. Saskatchewan Party leader Scott Moe condemned the attack, calling it unacceptable. For the latest coverage of Sask Votes 2024, including profiles of all the party leaders, go to 620ckrm.com or sasktoday.ca. A death investigation is underway in the 1500 block of Robinson Street. Police and EMS responded to a call at around 2 a.m. this morning when they discovered a deceased adult male. The Regina Police Major Crime Unit and Forensic Identification Unit are assisting with the case. No further details are being released at this time, and the victim's identity has not been made public. Police are asking anyone with identification to contact them or Crime Stoppers. After 36 years observing and recording the weather, Terry Lang is calling it a career. The longtime Environment Canada meteorologist will be retiring at the end of next month. She says the technology used to record weather when she started is very different from today.
We used to do charts by hand, plot weather maps by hand, and back then the computers were those big, ones that were really deep and wide, and You couldn't get any graphics on them or anything like that. So, of course, that's the biggest difference.
Terry Lang was a special guest of Ryan Young's on SaskAg Today earlier today. And the Federal Auditor General will probe all government contracts given to the company behind the controversial ArriveCan app.
The controversial app has been heavily criticized by opposition parties for its $60 million price tag. Auditor Karen Hogan has already found 3 departments lacked financial records to explain the cost of the app's development and failed to deliver the best value for taxpayers. Now she'll probe all government contracts awarded to GC Strategies, who have been given more than $100 million in federal contracts overall, not just for the app. Lisa Laporte, The Canadian Press.
That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
When you shop at Sherwood Co-op, you're contributing to your community
while building equity and putting money back in your pocket.
Others may claim to be local, but Sherwood Co-op is truly local.
Rooted in your community for over 90 years.
They're a proud Saskatchewan company
who continue to support hundreds of community organizations each year.
Like the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit at the Regina General Hospital and the Cancer Foundation of Saskatchewan.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
The luxury of Mercedes-Benz has never been more within reach with the fall demo event at Mercedes-Benz Regina. Save up to $32,000 on select models like the luxurious EQE 350. Get the premium performance and elegance Mercedes-Benz is known for, but with unmatched value when you choose certified pre-owned. Take advantage of the opportunity to experience the Mercedes-Benz you've always dreamed of, without compromise. Book your test drive at Mercedes-Benz Regina.
And now your 620 CKRM precision weather forecast for Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialists in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. Tonight, clear with a low of -3. Tomorrow, partly mostly sunny and a high of 12. And Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 10. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 18 and it's 3 degrees. Regina is mostly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 22, gusting to 31, and it's 1 degree. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Whether Smokey's after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It is for Saskatchewan Lotteries today. The all-new Sportscage. Barney Shinkra, Chris Harris, the double C's are over there on the other side of the board. Soon we are going to be joined by Arash Madani for a little coast to coast. For Brian Gawley, couple of housekeeping things I want to get away. The Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50/50, they sponsor the show tomorrow. We've been talking about this a lot. The deadline for the early bird is tomorrow at 5 p.m. The early bird, very sexy this week. Dominican Republic vacation includes flights Again, of course. Accommodations for two at an all-inclusive resort, shuttle transfers, or you can just take $5,400 cash. But you got to get your tickets before tomorrow at 5 p.m. Then you're in for the 50-50 at the game as well. So just winning. And then Colson is giving away rider tickets with SaskTel Pick the Score today, 936-6262. What is the score against the Stamps? Name, number, where you're from. And then a number of people that have been watching the stream have chimed in on what I was holding up for a couple other tickets. I'll do that again in a bit here if you're watching the stream. So a lot of rider tickets to give away today. It's that time. Let's go. Colson, hit it.
The all-new Sports Cage and Coast to Coast with Arash Madani is brought to you by Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Oh, Rash. No Minnesota Vikings tarp.
Oh, no.
Today.
No, I opted out. By the way, can I make a prediction on the score? I'm probably ineligible for the prize, living in Ontario.
But can you get here for the game on Saturday?
Riders 38, Stamps 9.
Ooh.
And I'm being generous for Calgary's points.
Okay, Colson is writing it down. Back to that Detroit-Minnesota game.
Oh.
Remember last week when I was talking about my Sports Select tickets and needing a tie?
Yes.
Well,
you got your tie.
Well, I flew out at 5 a.m. on Thursday and with the missus, and I said, "I'm just give me a sec. I'm gonna go play a little ticket here." So I got some action going on Sunday when we're flying home. So I played that game as a tie, which is a 3-point game. Any of your Sports Select players out there will know that. I played the Monday nighter, Arizona, Los Angeles, as a tie.
Nice.
And then I took Baltimore to win outright. And I took Indianapolis, Miami as another tie, and it was a 6-pointer. But I still win because I hit 3 of 4.
3 of 4 is a winner.
3 of 4 is a winner. 4 of 4 is really good. 4 of 4.
Very Canadian, isn't it? You like,
It
you know,
is.
it's like you get a consolation ribbon.
Yeah.
You know, that's not Canadian, but you gave it the old college try.
Yeah.
Keeps you coming back is what
Better
it
luck
does.
next time.
Responsibly. Responsibly. Always playing what I can afford to lose, which is really little. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, speaking of losing, Tampa Bay. I don't know if there are a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans out there, but I feel sorry for you. They got a 4-3 record. What happens there? End of the line,
It kind of feels that way. They're saying Evans won't be back until after the bye, week 11. And the only reason I think that's important, guys, is because they really were starting to figure things out there in Tampa. They gave Baker Mayfield the contract. Godwin was going into free agency after this year. It felt like they were kind of all in a division that's really up for grabs with the Saints, Falcons, and Carolina's hopeless. I wonder now, does Tampa Bay, I mean, trade deadline's a couple of weeks away, do they go after Cooper Kupp with the Rams? Like, this is still a very winnable division. It's still a way that you could host a playoff game, if not two. Is this the play right now if you're the Bucs to just say, look, they've done it before. They went and got Brady. They went and got Gronk. You know, that was only, 4 or 5 years ago. Let's do that again here. This may be our best chance at a championship because the NFC is wide open right now.
Is Kupp? Who else can you see available receiver wise? Like now, Devontae Adams is off the. Well, who knows? Maybe the Jets will. No. But who else is Amari Cooper? He's old anyway. Who else is out there? Yeah, who else is?
Went to the Bills. I don't know. Like I would have said, is there somebody in Carolina? But Adam Thielen's hurt. Like you're not going to deal a young guy if you're the Panthers, even though your season is really hopeless right now. I'm not sure. Seattle might be in the market for a receiver too because DK Metcalf is week to week.
Was that was a bad looking? That was
It was.
I saw the replay or the highlight on the score.
Who's like what team's season is over that has assets? New England's season is over, but they don't really have a veteran receiver you want.
No,
Cleveland's
they have
veteran
no receivers.
Already in Buffalo. I'm not sure.
What about well, sorry, Harry, go ahead.
No, we're just gonna say receivers are in short supply for what you're looking for. If you're trying to get over that hump and get to a championship game, there's not a lot of names out there that you're like, we got to go ahead and get that guy because that'll be the difference. There's not a lot of difference makers out there.
And the other issue, fellas, is with now these expanded playoffs, there are a lot more teams who feel they're probably in the hunt. You know, a couple of weeks ago, Cincinnati was on life support. Now, all of a sudden, they get a couple of wins. They're a game below 500. They haven't gotten into the teeth of their division schedule. They're suddenly back in the hunt. So with that 17th game and the expanded playoffs, you're saying to yourself, all right, well, what happened to all that 1 in a million talk?
So now that there's so many teams that have been pulled kind of into this chase, who not an episode?
Oh, he's cutting out it.
The next
He's cutting out a bit. I think he's asking, who's scary? Can't say Kansas City.
To me, the two best teams in football, including Kansas City, are Detroit and Baltimore. Like, you think about the Ravens, who start 0-2, and now they're 5-2. They're 0-2, and their second loss, they led by 10 at home to the Raiders in the fourth quarter, and they lost that game. What scares me about Baltimore, like going up against Baltimore, is how stacked their defense is, how many weapons Lamar has, and the fact that their offensive line can block. Like, Lamar can throw it from the pocket. He showed that last night. That dude threw for 5 touchdowns. Derrick Henry ran for 169 yards, and he didn't even have his second carry of the game until the second half. And I think Detroit, top to bottom, has the best roster in football. So those are the two teams that really scare me, guys. I don't know about you.
Do you speaking of trades and then Detroit, do you see Garrett getting moved out of Cleveland?
Oh man. That's such a tough one. Like, the answer should be yes, because Myles Garrett is your best asset. The fact that Deshaun Watson's Achilles is now popped, I mean, look, your season's over. You should go with Dorian Thompson-Robinson to see what you have there. You shouldn't go with Jameis Winston. Can Myles Garrett get you a young player and a second-round pick? Could Myles Garrett get you a first-round pick? I mean, you gave all them away to Houston when you went and got Watson. You may as well try and get something back for him.
Wow, I don't know if a first-round pick, but desperate times. Then on the Ravens thing, like we talked about, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, like they are good, and how it looks, and if it's a video game, you really like how you're sitting with this team, but it's just not going to be sustainable till February. Like Derrick Henry, there's got to be some load management. So I'm looking at they're looking at their schedule. They play the Browns, who we just talked about. And they never did have a quarterback. Like they put in Harbaugh, put in whoever there. Let Lamar sit. Let Derrick Henry sit. Then you got the Broncos. Broncos are weird. So that's sneaky. Nothing. Yeah, sneaky. Then you got the Bengals. Like, you got to dress all your horses November 7th. Then you got the Steelers, who it's like, what? Like, if you're a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, good on you. Like, that's exciting every year. When's the last time Pittsburgh stunk?
Yeah.
They're like the Seattle Thunderbirds of the NHL.
So Mike Tomlin is the third head coach in franchise history. Think about that.
It's crazy.
The third head coach in franchise history. He has never had a losing record as head coach. With with 2 cast-off quarterbacks. They're paying Russell Wilson the veteran minimum and Justin Fields, who they got for a 6th. With those 2 in that division, they're 5-2. I mean, he's sprinkling magic fairy dust wherever he goes, man. That guy's a coach now.
That Russell Wilson thing and how Denver is saddled with all that money and how they're playing now. He's that guy that when you buy a car and you flip it. And he's like, yeah, that's what I just did. I just made a bunch of money on it. Was whatever. So
It's
here's
a great analogy, though, Barney, because I thought it was really interesting because Tomlin wouldn't tip his hand on who his starting quarterback would be, but then in the NBC production meeting, he's talking to Collinsworth and Tirico about it. And Collinsworth brought this up on the broadcast, that Tomlin, this was not a move made that Russ is now our guy the rest of the way. He said, I don't know what we have. He went to the used car lot. It was a flashy car back in the day. It was a well-operating car back in the day.
Honda CRX.
He got it for pennies on the dollar, as long as a Honda CRX can get you to the top of the podium.
Fantastic vehicle. I'm in the market for one if anyone has one. Go ahead.
And Russ just and Tomlin just said, okay, let's see what this is. We're non-committal past tonight. And now maybe you go another week with Russ as your guy. Let's see.
Is there something to be said for just the change of scenery? I mean, just the way that there's no expectations. You're Russell Wilson. You're brought into Denver to do a job. You didn't do it. They gave up on you. They didn't do anything with you. They gave up on you. You go to Pittsburgh with 0 expectations. They're like, we expect nothing from you. You might not even make this team. And then once he gets the opportunity, he makes it work. Now, is there something to be said for just that? Sure. But
right? Like the first half, first of all, the Jets are awful. 2, the first half was a little shaky, and Russ cooked by throwing the ball up, and George Pickens went out and climbed the ladder and caught him. Like, I don't think we totally know what Russell Wilson is, so to speak, yet. But it's a heck of a start, and it just buys him some time now to see what you're going to get.
He was so bad in Denver. I need at least 3 games for my eyeballs to say Russ can still cook, because he was bad in Denver. It did look like he was cooking in Denver a lot of things. But then back to Baltimore, they play the Browns last game of the year, so that's sit guys down there. But then they got the Texans and the Steelers before that, the Giants. We need some sort of load management. Is there rumors with Matthew Stafford?
I saw something today that the mighty Minnesota Vikings have some interest in Matthew Stafford.
Sam Darnold's just like, come on. What else do I have to do?
Yeah. We lost 1 game.
Beat Detroit. But it actually makes sense, guys, because Matthew Stafford, the year they won the Super Bowl, his offensive coordinator was Kevin O'Connell. So it's the same offense, probably a lot of the same terminology. And the Rams at 2-4 may be just pulling the chute on their season. So, if we're talking about Cooper Kupp going to the Bucs, for instance, or I just can't see the Rams trading in the division to San Francisco, who just lost Ayuk, to Seattle, who may have just lost Metcalf. If the Rams are pulling the chute, like Matthew Stafford makes a ton of sense in Minnesota. Because I think with the Vikes, coming off they missed the playoffs last year. It's year 3 of this regime. There might be a lot of people there with jobs on the line. And so you make moves like this when you're on, because 5-1 can turn into 6-4 real quick. Yeah. Especially when Sam Darnold's your quarterback.
Speaking of change of scenery or wheels falling off, switching gears to the CFL, I know that the season's not over yet, but wetting your whistle for what could happen in the offseason, some of the storylines that you like going into next year that keep an eye on.
So here's one way off the radar. Brian Dobie has been the head coach at the University of Manitoba forever. Brian Dobie is retiring as the head coach at the University of Manitoba. The general manager of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is Kyle Walters. Walters used to be the head coach at the University of Guelph. For a few years now, there has been trouble in paradise with Walters and Mike O'Shea. They've made it work, but that's not a real good fit right now. Hasn't been for a while. Wouldn't surprise me if Kyle Walters finds himself in the conversation to take over the football program at the U of M. He's made CFL GM money for a while. He could come to some kind of buyout with the Blue Bombers. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's something to absolutely keep your eye on this offseason, because I think there may be some legs to it.
Before we let you go, I want to talk some baseball here. New York and LA baseball fans just got to be loving it. As far as, I don't even know. I'm curious to, Colson, maybe you can check this out, how much tickets are to get into this thing.
You can't get in for under $1,500. $1,500 may not even get you in. Like, this is a dream matchup for baseball, right? Yankees, Dodgers, East Coast, West Coast, two biggest markets, Ohtani versus Judge, historic, etc. And baseball has become such a regional league that I think, like, what this World Series will kind of show us is what the national appeal can be. Because there's nothing bigger than this. There can be nothing bigger than this. So we're about to find out with mega star power, Soto, Judge, Stanton, Ohtani, you name it, Mookie Betts. What can the ceiling for baseball be? That's what this World Series is going to do. The other thing, guys, is it's amazing the power of the NFL. Major League Baseball has worked their entire World Series to all but avoid football. Game 1 and 2 are Friday, Saturday. Sunday's the travel day. Games 3, 4, and 5 go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Travel day back if you need Game 6 is Thursday, so you avoid Thursday night football.
Yeah.
Then Game 6 and 7 is Friday, Saturday. You're avoiding 2 Sundays and a Thursday.
That makes sense. Like, you need to. It would be like, you don't know this, Arash, but it would be like somebody in Lumsden thinking it's a good idea to bring in Sawyer Brown the weekend of Country Thunder down the road. Like, he just wouldn't do that. It makes no sense. The biggest music festival in the province is down the road. You're not bringing in. Yeah, so just avoid. But the other thing, though, like, college football is an absolute power too, but you got to play somewhere. I'm really curious to see the ratings on this. And you got the international flair as well, the Japan market. I just looked up the lowest rated World Series ever. Guess which two teams?
New York.
Nope. Lowest.
Lowest.
One team
Florida
actually surprised me.
Somebody.
Who's that?
Florida and somebody.
See, I thought it would have been Florida too. They don't even have a roof on their stadium right now.
Was it the last couple of years with Houston or Texas in it?
Texas, Arizona.
Yeah. Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're literally
Colson
going
wants to chime in. Colson wants to chime in. He might have found out someone's still alive. Hold on.
I was just going to say the lowest tickets you can get to Game 1, $1,682 USD.
Go.
And that's nosebleed.
And, like, you're seeing nothing up there. Like, you know, you're looking at little cartoon characters from your seat.
Yeah, if you're looking for behind the Dodgers bullpen, $21,000.
There we go.
That's where all the celebrities will be. Everyone that used to party with P. Diddy will be sitting behind the dugout there. The thing about Major League Baseball, I'm not a big fan. I brought this up before. Going to the World Series in 2013, it's unbelievable. Like, everything matters. That passed ball, that foul ball that no one cares about in July, August, and September, like, just everything mattered. But for that kind of dough.
Those 13, that was the Red Sox?
Yes.
So here's the other thing about that, is that first pitch at 8:15, at 4 o'clock outside of Fenway Park, every single bar and every single restaurant's jammed.
I don't know anything about that. I just I was just there to watch baseball.
With your scorebook, keeping score.
Yes, if you're keeping score at home, I always love that one. Okay, we got to do this on what, Friday?
Friday,
because you're doing fancy stuff on Thursday.
Yeah, talking to a couple old Raptors, Nick Nurse and Kyle Lowry. So it'll be during the show.
Okay, well, we'll chat with you Friday, Arash.
Thanks, boys.
Coast to coast.
38-9.
38-9. Hey, every NHL team's playing tonight. Talk about Sprinkle Town when I get home. Woo, yeah. Big boxing games left and right. Okay, Friday, Arash. Thanks, buddy. Coast to coast with Arash Madani for Brian Golly, Smart Investment Solutions. Take a quick break here. If you're watching the stream, sportscage.com, and as always on 620 CKRM.
The new king of trucks in Southie Saskatchewan is Southie Mainline Chrysler. Get $1,500 bonus cash on select Jeep Grand Cherokees. You can also get up to 15% off on select Pacificas, up to $18,000 off on select Ram 1500s, or 0.99% for 72 months financing. It's the new king of trucks in Southie Saskatchewan, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Visit SouthieMainline.ca. Southie Mainline Chrysler, worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
Are optional. Nutties at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Water heater and water softener rentals are now available at Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Instead of paying big money up front, you can rent a water heater and water softener directly from Bronco without the worry or hassle. They have a long history of renting water heaters and water softeners, and they're maintenance free. Bronco comes and does all that for you. Saskatchewan's best water heater rentals are from Bronco. Call 306-781-2090. Professional, courteous service. BroncoPlumbing.com.
The Saskatchewan Party will make life more affordable for students, for homeowners, and for families. We'll increase the amount students get back through the Graduate Retention Program. We'll increase the first-time home buyer's tax credit. We'll create a home renovation tax credit, and we will increase the active families benefit for children's activities. We'll also reduce your income tax and keep home heating exempt from the Trudeau NDP carbon tax. The Saskatchewan Party, making life more affordable for Saskatchewan people.
Authorized by the financial agents for all provincial Saskatchewan Party candidates.
Welcome, one and all, to the greatest auto sale at Capital GMC. Prepare to be amazed by our weekly Ringmaster specials. Early year-end clearance prices that can be found nowhere else in the world. Gaze at the amazing cash for clunkers. Get a minimum $3,000 for your trade. Guaranteed! Bring the entire family for food, games, and your shot at winning thousands in spectacular prizes. Hurry, hurry, hurry! It's the greatest auto sale at Capital GMC.
Tiny toppings and cardboard-flavored carbs are not what you get when you order from Western Pizza. But they haven't just perfected pizza. No, my friend, add Caesar salad to that list, along with satisfying garlic toast, baked lasagna, crispy chicken wings, and every other item on their extensive menu. Western Pizza makes food for hungry people. So if you're only kinda sorta hungry, you should invite more people. Western Pizza, big on toppings, big on taste.
Sorry to scare you in the shower. Mother sent me to tell you that Future Vision is having a big 2-for-1 sale, with international styles arriving daily.
Future Vision. Where'd you get those? Where'd you get those? Where'd you get those eyes?
Oh, and Future Vision is a proud recipient of the Consumer's Choice Award 2023.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sports Cage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. The all-new Sports Cage. Barney Shinkra, Chris Harris, Curtis, and Colson. What are you chuckling about over there?
Just looking at my list of the obscure sports, television sports, and just some of them are so ridiculous. It's just boggles my mind. Makes me chuckle.
If you're just tuning in, we were talking first segment. It was an absolute runaway. Dave Thomas is on. We're having some fun. Just because every single NHL team is playing today. Like there's a game on right now. Washington's up 1-0 on Philly. There was already a scrap in this one. Watching it out of the corner of my eye. Every team is playing. Like the access we have now to watch sports in 2024 is unbelievable. So then we were just talking about back in the day, like when TSN first came on, it was amazing because you had like this channel that was just sports. Like what is going on? But then some of the stuff they played was like, it was Australian rules football, followed by snooker, followed by darts, and then followed by Kiana's Flex Appeal or whatever it was. What was the other one that you were talking about, Harry?
The Lumberjack Challenge? Oh, the Lumberjack Challenge. That one?
Yeah, no, and I thought you just found another one. Sorry.
Oh,
bowling.
Well, they're just like some of the ridiculous things that they would put on the air, like underwater hockey.
Yeah.
Underwater boxing.
Get lost.
Seriously, it's a thing.
Underwater boxing.
Yeah.
Yep. No, ESPN in the States is the best because when I was just down there and they were showing the roof ball World Championships again, which is just one of the greatest things to watch. If you've ever watched roof ball, we good to go, Curtis? Out on the Western Pizza guest hotline, perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings all over Saskatchewan, and this guy loves Saskatchewan. He is in Saskatchewan on Thursday down in Weyburn. Jeremy Roenick, Hall of Famer Jeremy Roenick. The last time we talked, I didn't get to say that. We were both bitching and complaining about what's going on. Coming back to Sasky, JR, people don't get this. Like, you actually really, really like Saskatchewan.
I do. I really, well, listen, I don't like the cold, but I love the people. I love the mentality. I love the hockey. I wish the NHL could be supported in Saskatoon because that would have been great. I've always had a great time up there. I've had friends in Moose Jaw. One of my favorite teammates of all time, Dirk Graham from Regina. So, I do. I love it.
Is your first experience with Sasky when I was like in grade 7 or 8 and I was chasing you around for autographs and your team at the 91 Canada Cup exhibition games up in Saskatoon?
That was the first experience I've ever had up in Saskatoon. Yes, 1991 Canada Cup. I think we were playing the exhibition game against Canada up there. I don't remember it too well for a lot of different reasons. Some were professionally induced, some were socially induced, but it was a lot of fun. Yes,
that 91 Canada Cup, like the thing that people don't remember is Canada actually played the U.S. in the final. Everyone kind of would always talk about the Mario Lemieux goal with Howard Chuck and Howard Chuck started. Well, I think Howard Chuck started it, and then Gretzky giving it to Lemieux. But that 91 is the U.S. and Canada. And the thing that, do you remember this, Harry? And I'm sure JR, you do. Is when
I remember. I know exactly what exactly what you're gonna say.
Suitor absolutely wallpapers Gretzky like that. As a kid, that's the first time you ever seen Gretzky hit like that ever.
Well, you got to remember it's the Canada Cup, right? So the Canada Cup usually doesn't have tough guys on the team. So, we all obviously felt a little bit better about the fact that, hey, if we hit Gretz, we don't have to deal with McSorley, or we don't have to deal with anybody like that. Gary Suitor was one of those guys. He didn't care who you were. He was a in-your-face, very competitive, and a very proud American. And he saw Gretz there, and he says, "I'm playing for America, and there's no way I'm not going to represent America the right way and take out Canadians' best player." And that's what he did. And I remember being on the bench and going, "Oh shit! Oh no! Like, we're all in trouble now. Like, I got to look over my shoulder." Chelly's got to look over his shoulder. Holly's got to look over his shoulder because the beating's coming, and it was it was scary. I mean, it was scary. Hoping Gretz was okay, but we all thought that we were going to be the next to go into the boards and be the next catastrophe.
We just showed the video on the stream. If people are watching the stream, they saw.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like I thought Gretzky, he was possibly dead, and then he starts skating to the bench.
Are you
and
kidding
he
me?
goes
He's never
down
been hit like that. I don't think he's been hit like that ever in his life. That was such a new feeling for him, and I'm sure he didn't like it. I don't know what Gretzky's pain threshold is, and I don't even think he does because he never got touched, and for good reason.
He just went full scorpion into the boards.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. By the way, I got hit like that every game, so that wouldn't have mattered to me. But for Gretz, it's a little different story.
What was the smallest you played in the NHL? Would it have been your rookie year? Like what was height and weight?
My first game in the NHL in 1988, I was 162 pounds. And I gained 5 pounds during training camp. So I remember going into training camp about 158, right around there.
Oh.
So
and that's 1988 hockey. Like that's not now where guys can be a little bit smaller. Was that 91? Was that the coming out party for USA hockey because you guys won it in 96? Was that there was something there in 91 and it kind of just kept going?
Yeah, well, obviously everything started in 80 with Ruzioni and the 80 team that had the biggest upset of all time. But that kind of sparked that whole generation, which led up to 91. Obviously, we had a great Canada Cup team at that time with Chelly and Hully and Otto and Madani, myself, Housley. I mean, we had an amazing team in 91. But I think that's when we really put our faces and our stamp on the World Hockey Association in terms of being a powerhouse, and it just culminated in 96 by winning the World Cup. And again, even though we lost, being in the Olympic Games in the final game against Canada in 2002 was pretty much the ultimate the ultimate stamp on our superpower.
Harry, sorry, do you gotta
go? Would you say, I know you just kind of answered it, but would you say 96 was the real, when you showed the world that the scales had balanced and it was tipping the other way now and the Americans could play the game that they needed to in order to be dominant on the world stage?
Well, if you think about it, 96 had all the major players in it. I didn't play because I was in a contract dispute with the Blackhawks and obviously a free agent situation. So I was in that situation where I'm in the best money market making time in my whole career at 26. If I go to the World Cup and get hurt, I'm screwed. So I chose not to play, which I still don't regret at all because I got to watch and I'm so proud of our guys.
Yeah.
But all the big players were in it. Gretz was there, Mario was there. It was all the big players from the 90s. In 2002, Gretz wasn't playing in 2002. They didn't have all the players at that time. So, yeah, that was probably the best hockey that has been played between Canada and America ever.
And it was because we lost in 96 to the U.S. and then we lost to the Czechs in Nagano. So, like, Canadian hockey, people were losing their minds, right? And they had to have the summit and all that. But JR, so what do you think about?
Yeah, we both had debacles in 1998. Us a little bit more than Canada, but still, you guys were there.
You guys went after it though. At least you guys made some headlines after. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What?
Actually, you knew we were there.
What do you think about like Canadian hockey? It's great, but think about, we don't really have any goaltenders going into the Four Nations Cup. Like the U.S., unbelievable goaltending. Finland, unbelievable goaltending. Sweden. Canada, everyone's saying maybe Binnington, right? Like, isn't it weird where Canadian hockey is as far as goaltending?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because it's always been one of its strengths, right? Looking back at some of the best goaltenders of all time, Eddie Balfour, Marty Brodeur, Patrick Waugh, it's crazy to know that goaltending might be the weakest point. The Finns have always had the best goaltenders, right? And it's nice to know that the Americans have come a long way, because some people would say that was our weakness, with the exception of maybe Mike Richter. Mike Richter was obviously a Hall of Famer in my eyes. But don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lose any sleep that Canada doesn't have any quality goaltenders. Although I think Binnington is a very qualified goaltender, but not your household name for sure.
Have you been following this? And you go back to your days. Have you been following this CHL players that are going to be allowed now to go play a little NCAA hockey, and now we're going into that, and just what are your thoughts on that as a guy who's from the Boston area, big college at Eastern Seaboard, and then you went up to Hull briefly as a kid?
Yeah, I think it's great, to tell you the truth. I think that it gives young players a much more of an advantage in terms of playing hockey and still having the ability to get a good education. We've seen colleges are putting more people in the National Hockey League year in and year out, and it's always been that question for players in the United States: do I go to Major Junior and have probably the best stepping stone to the National Hockey League, the level of play that's most like the National Hockey League? And for me, it's always been Major Junior. But I didn't go because I would have given up my college status. I think it's a great way to allow a player to get ready for the league if you're in America. Some kids might not have that, that goal of maybe doing, NHL. They don't know. Let's go play Major Junior. Maybe I will have a chance with that kind of education, hockey education. But I just feel, what's the difference? Like, why is Major Junior going to be any difference on college? Why are you going to lose your ability to get an education just because you're playing Major Junior? College, some people will say, could be almost as good these days.
Yeah, we kind of lost you there for a second. Okay, I saw, before I let you go, we saw you with Tim Peel on social media the other day. I know you're always hanging out. Former NHL official. What's the two-part question? NHL official that you just got along with, like you guys on the ice, and then one that maybe you despised back in your playing days.
Kerry Fraser was always great with me. I always used to have a lot of fun with Kerry Fraser. He was great. Pat DiPuzzo, who was a linesman, him and I we couldn't wait to get on the ice together. We were such friends, and we always ragged on each other and laughed. And I scored a big goal and actually gave him a high five on my way to the bench after I scored my 50th goal. I thought that was pretty cool. I had a little run-in with Blaine Angus way back in the day. I threw a water bottle at him. I thought he was a terrible referee, and he didn't ref after that year anyway. And Denny Morrell made the worst call in the history of goal calls. Nelson Emerson in Winnipeg literally came around the net and threw the puck into the net in overtime, in his hand, out of his hand, threw it in the net with the replay and everything, and Denny Morrell called it a goal. And I'm like, how much money did he have on this game? It was a joke, and we just went absolutely bonkers at Denny Morrell after that brutal call. Those are probably couple of the guys that I could name.
Harry, you got anything?
I want to change gears here for one quick second while we still have you. I took a little stroll down your IMDb, and between airline employee, desk sergeant, officer number 3, assistant coach, and security guard, which role do you really remember the most out of those?
Would have to be a baseball coach on Ghost Whisperer, because I got to meet Jennifer Love Hewitt. That was the best.
And And then I don't know if I asked you this in the podcast a couple of years ago, but when's the last time you played, just for movie buffs and swingers, when's the last time you played Genesis hockey where they talk about you in that movie?
Oh, Sega Genesis, Sega 94. It's been a long time since I played it, but it's been about 24 hours since I talked about it. It literally is a everyday conversation with me with somebody somewhere, whether it's over social media or somebody I run into on the street. It's not so much me, it's Ronak. He's good. That's a conversation every day.
What are people in Weyburn can expect anyone going on Thursday night?
Listen, if you like people that just love being around and telling stories and entertaining and having a good time, we're going to have a great time. So there's no question. I'm sure that the vibrations are going to be zipping through that through that center, and the libations are also going to be zipping through that center.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time.
Right on. Jeremy, thanks so much for doing this. Travel safe up to Sasky here, and people are really looking forward to it.
It'll be fun. Look forward to seeing you guys. Thanks a lot.
Right on. That is NHL Hall of Famer Jeremy Ronak joining us here on the all-new Sports Cage. American hockey, though, Harry, right? Like, back in the day, like, he talked about Mike Richter. Like, Mike Richter was so good in that 96 World Cup and then in the Olympics. Like, he was, like, unbelievable.
Yeah, and he touched on it. Like, that 96 World Cup was really, I feel, the time when people stood up and started to take notice about I think that back in the day used to say, oh, they're playing the Canadian way and they're playing, like, they're better at it than us, and they really served notice that USA Hockey was going to be a powerhouse for the foreseeable future.
So if you're heading to Weyburn on Thursday night, you can talk to JR there. Speaking of the SJHL, we do have the SJHL report coming up with Benny Walchuk in the next hour for our friends at Southie Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks in Southie. Games today, that's why Benny's traveling. He's heading up to Flin Flon right now with the Yorkton Terriers. We're going to talk about the Terriers' appeal to them losing the points and the wins yesterday. That'll be interesting. Weyburn's in Humboldt and the Battlefords in Melfort in the SJHL this evening. It is the all-new Sports Cage. Time for a break. If you're watching that, stream sportscage.com. Thank you very much.
When it comes to duct cleaning, call Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They'll clean out the dust and debris that builds up over the summer. When you need protection, they offer a monthly plan for homeowners to get regular service done on their AC and furnace, as well as plumbing. And when it comes to furnace servicing, it's never too early to get that done too. Bronco will service your furnace and have you ready to go before winter hits. Consider it today, so you can rest easy tomorrow. Learn more at broncoplumbing.com.
The next item up for auction is entry to the Canadian Western Agribition. We'll open up the bidding at $25. $25. Who will give me 20? $20 bid, 20. Do I hear $10 bid? Who will give me $10? Who will give me $0 bid? $0. Going once, $0 going twice. Sold for $0.
Connexus members get free entry to the Canadian Western Agribition. Pick up your multi-day pass at any Connexus branch.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week, it's an all-inclusive trip to the Dominican Republic, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
Sometimes everything can look perfect on the outside, but inside, things could definitely be better. Luckily, Fries Tobin has everything you need to finish those indoor renovations this fall. That's right, interior reno season is here, so head to Fries Tobin for all the installation, drywall, interior doors, baseboards, and casing materials you need to make your home cozy and welcoming for the long winter months that lie ahead. Visit FriesTobin.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Fries Tobin. Let's get you building.
Step right up to the greatest
greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln. See the amazing weekly Ringmaster specials. Find a better deal on any new Ford and we'll give you $1,000 in cold hard cash. Introducing Cash for Clunkers, guaranteeing a minimum $3,000 for your trade. Bring the whole family down for food, games, and your chance to win thousands in amazing prizes. Hurry, hurry, hurry to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Hey there, Saskatchewan. Need a reliable teammate to catch your pass when the game gets tough? Check out Harvard Western Insurance, the official insurance partner of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And guess who's joining their manager team? It's the one and only Deanna Cole. We couldn't agree more, Gaynor. Deanna's been a rock star at our Milestone office for years, and now she's bringing her expertise as manager to our offices in Rollo, Yellowgrass, and Pangman. It looks like Gaynor is ready to cheer her on. Visit a Harvard Western Insurance location near you today.
The all-new Sports Cage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
If you go to sportscage.com, a lot of times you're going to find some interesting reading material. It's time for the clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. You can call 781-1077. A 3-pack of Saskatchewan judo athletes coming home with hardware from one of the biggest judo championships in the world. 777 athletes out in Toronto. So it was shout out Kenzie Woods, Nova Lee Newman, and Thomas Burns Shinmura. All coming home with some hardware. Kenzie's from Moose Jaw. Michelle Yee from Regina also picked up gold there as well. So great job there from the what is the person called when they do judo? Judoers? Judoists?
An athlete.
Athletes. That is the clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Judo, that's going back to our TSN and old school sports and what used to be on TV. TSN probably had some rights to judo back in the day. The reason we're talking about that is because today every NHL team is playing. There's 16 games, and you can find it. You can watch it. It's 2024. It's like crazy where we've come. As far as Canadian teams, Flames are hosting the Pens. Oilers hosting the Canes. Jets are in St. Louis. Canucks are in Chicago. Sens and Utah. The Rangers are at the Canadiens, and the Leafs are at the Blue Jackets. So all that action, it's already started. There's like hockey on all night till almost midnight. You can watch professional hockey if you want to do that and sprinkle on it. All new Sports Cage coming up in hour 3. Harry's going to stick around. Colson's going to stick around. Curtis is a hard maybe. We got Glen Suitor coming up and the SJHL report with Benny Walchuk. It is the all-new Sports Cage. Don't forget, SaskTel picked the score, 936-6262. What's the score? Name, number, where you're from if you want to win tickets to this weekend's game on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
Grow bold with the Fent Ideal 10 Combine, available at Nick's Service. The Fent Ideal 10 offers 790 horsepower and features the same Fent ID engine speed concept made popular in the lineup of tractors. This means maximum horsepower and torque are achieved at lower RPMs, giving you tremendous fuel efficiency. With a 485 bushel grain tank capable of unloading at 6 bushels per second, turn downtime into dust with the Fent Ideal 10 Combine. See one today at Nick's Service in Emerald Park.
The world-famous Keniston Super Draft is back for the NHL season, and $90,000 is up for grabs. Everyone is vying for the $20,000 first-place prize. Be one of 14 winners of $1,000. Do you stay chalk and go with the McDavid, Kucherov, Matthews along with the regular point getters, or go off the board? Entries are just $40 each, 3 for $100 or 7 for $200. Find some buddies and get in on some real NHL pool action with the Keniston Super Draft. Superdraft.com. Entry deadline November 1st, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
That was the bull elk, one of the largest mammals in North America. That was Betty. The water heater in her RV split open, and the water has leaked everywhere. She is not happy. If she'd gone to affordable trailer sales, she could have avoided this messy heartache. Call today and get your unit winterized so you don't end up like Betty. Affordable Trailer Sales, Highway 1 West, South Service Road, or visit affordabletrailersales.ca.
In 1966, Chani Wenjack ran away from Cecilia Jeffrey Residential School in Kenora, Ontario. He walked for 36 hours along the train tracks before dying of exposure on October 22nd. He was just 12 years old. Chani is gone, but his story endures today in Gord Downey's album Secret Path. Join the Gord Downey and Chani Wenjack Fund from October 17th to 22nd for Secret Path Week. Learn more at secretpathweek.ca.
Get your equipment out of the rain and snow and under the roof of a new storage building from Olympic Buildings. Have a warm, dry place to work and keep everything out of the cold. Olympic Buildings. Buildings to meet your budget. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
The 620 CKRM Country Corner is brought to you by Glasses TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, and Foster's Audio Video in Carlisle. Get the newest cell phone today with an amazing SaskTel rate plan.
620 CKRM is proud to support the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Regina and area Big Breakfast Show, Tuesday, November 5th at the Connexus Arts Center. Join them for a delicious buffet breakfast and support their life-changing mentoring relationships. Ticket cutoff is November 1st. Full details at bbbsregina.ca. Heritage Regina is hosting a lecture to commemorate the service of Saskatchewan's military veterans, Thursday, November 7th, 7 p.m. at the Artesian. The event is free, though a $10 donation is encouraged to support Heritage Regina's educational programming. And spend your Saturdays with the Symphony. The Regina Symphony Orchestra season is underway. Check out the full schedule at reginasymphony.com.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com.
Good afternoon. It's cloudy and it's 2 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Regina police say they are investigating damage to a Saskatchewan Party campaign office. Officers received a report from that office claiming that it was bullet holes in the glass, but later determined the damage wasn't the result of a firearm discharge. Saskatchewan Party leader Scott Moe says the targeting of a campaign office is unacceptable.
This is unprecedented for our province and unprecedented in a campaign. We've seen this in the U.S. presidential campaign, not in a provincial Saskatchewan election.
Before police issued a statement on the damage, Moe had alleged the holes were a result of gunshots. Saskatchewan's provincial election is Monday. For the latest coverage of Sask Votes 2024, including profiles of all the party leaders, go to 620ckrm.com or sasktoday.ca. Regina Police, along with the Saskatchewan Coroner Service, have launched a death investigation following an incident in the 1500 block of Robinson Street. Police and EMS were called to a residence shortly after 2 a.m. this morning, where they found a deceased adult male. The residence has been secured, and the major crime and forensic identification units are involved in the investigation. The victim's name has not been released. Anyone with any information is encouraged to contact Regina Police or Crime Stoppers. With 2 weeks to go, U.S. President Joe Biden is out on the campaign trail today, speaking at a Harris Walls rally in New Hampshire about prescription drug prices. The president told the crowd that the same drugs sold in America cost much less in other countries.
I can take you to Toronto, Canada, Paris, France, Rome, Italy. I can take you anywhere in the world, literally, and you'll pay half or less than you'd pay in America for the exact same drug made by the exact same pharmaceutical company.
Bruce Springsteen is holding campaign concerts for U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris starting Thursday in Atlanta. Trump will tape an interview with Joe Rogan for his popular podcast on Friday. And the Quebec government is considering scrapping the twice-yearly time change. Justice Minister Simon Jolin Barrette says changing the clocks has had negative health impacts, and he wants to hear if Quebecers agree that it should be abolished.
I think that's a subject of public policy, so I want to address that subject. It's part of my responsibility, and I want to do the things seriously by doing a consultation and after taking action.
He says Quebecers can weigh in by filling out an online questionnaire before December 1st. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
You make me happy when... Uh-oh.
There are some things that can get spoiled. A sunny day, maybe.
Aw, and no umbrella or anything.
And then there's Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, where they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features. With such a wide selection and so many great plans, nothing can spoil it.
Yay, rain!
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week, it's an all-inclusive trip to the Dominican Republic, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
It's 5:03, and I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather, brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and for Croft Electric. 27 years of trust. Matt's Furniture, rather. Visit mattsfurniture.ca. Excuse me. Now here's Precision Weather meteorologist Steve Adamson.
The passage of a cold front late last night and early today brought a noticeable change to our temperatures. The rest of the week will have temperatures that'll be more in line with the seasonal averages for this time of the year. It looks like a quiet week, as no storms on the horizon for the remainder of the upcoming period. Tonight, cloudiness thinning out and becoming mostly clear, the low temperature around -4. Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, temperatures moderating with a high back up to 12. Wednesday night, mostly clear, the low temperature will be near -5. Thursday, we'll have a mixture of sunshine and cloud cover, the high around 9. Friday, mainly sunny skies, the high near 9. Saturday, also looking mostly sunny, with a high temperature about 11. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather Meteorologist Steve Adamson.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is -1, Swift Current 0, Assiniboia 2, York and Melville 2, Moosomin Broadview 1, Estevan 3, and Weyburn is 2. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's cloudy, winds are from the northwest at 20, and it's 3 degrees. Regina is also cloudy, winds are from the northwest at 20, and it's 2 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you big money at Matt's Furniture. From now until October 30th, save more with the Autumn Sweet Savings Event. Buy any 2 qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag kitchen appliances, like the Maytag Smart Electric Range with indoor grill, just $16.99, and save an extra $150. Buy 3 or more qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag appliances and save an extra $300. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936. 6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
One more hour of the Sportscage. It has been a super fun show. That first hour where we thought we weren't sure if we were coming back on the air. Oh wow, what a riot. You can all listen to it in podcast form later. If you missed it, you can go back and watch the stream as well on YouTube. We still are taking, Colson says, yes, we are. We're taking entries still for SaskTel Pick the Score in this hour, 936-6262. What's the score against the Stamps? We need your name, number, and where you're from. Thanks to everyone at SaskTel for that. And then if you're watching the stream, Maybe this is the last time. I'm going to hold it up. What am I holding up here? Okay, you gotta say, just say what this is, and then all you streamers out there, we're going to give you 2 tickets to the game, or a chance to win 2 tickets to the game Saturday as well. So 936-6262, Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. Hey, Harry, you know what we're going to do also later this hour, before, maybe after Benny Walchuk and the SJ report? We got to do the Keniston Super Draft, and I'm going to let you pick a couple of players for the Sportscage team. We got to go through that as well. But let's talk football with our friend on the West Coast.
The all-new Sportscage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor is brought to you by Quality Tire. With 9 locations across Saskatchewan, visit qualitytire.ca.
Glen, how are things going over there? I tell you, I'm really curious to get your thoughts on this. Rider stamps. Riders are going to be scoreboard watching. As a player, like, I know they're saying, and Harry and I were talking about it earlier, like, they say the right things. It's like, no, it's, we're professional. It's a game. We're not going to be paying attention. Yeah, you are. You are watching this game, and you should be. And then the second part to it is, should the riders rest most of the horses if things don't go the way we need them in Montreal?
Well, the reality is you can't rest too many guys with the limited roster sizes. I mean, you can rest a few, and certainly anyone who might have a little bit of a nick or has just come back from injury and maybe played one game. I think of Ouellette in that case. Guys like that, maybe you say, let's make sure they're fresh for the playoffs if Winnipeg wins for the semi. But, I'm resting Trevor for sure, if it's me. Now, every coach has a different approach to this. Mark Trestman wouldn't even let Anthony Calvillo start in games that didn't matter in the standings. Wouldn't even dress him in those games, so he wouldn't be tempted to put him in. And some coaches think, and I think Jason Moss is one of them in Montreal, he wants to play his starters at least for a half because he doesn't want to get them to get rusty. So lots of different approaches here. For me, I would rather be 100%, or no one's 100%, but I would rather have as fresh legs as possible than, be banged up going into the semifinal, and rather than have a little bit of rust in that first series or two in the semifinal. I always thought the first special teams cover team, you're in the flow of the game, But it's funny, Barney, when you say players say the right, they're saying all the right things. During the NHL regular season, players always say they're giving it all they got. And then all of a sudden in the playoffs, the tempo and the space disappears, the tempo gets that much higher, and the physicality gets that much higher. And, well, wait a minute. You had this in the playoffs, but you didn't have that in the regular season. So don't tell me in the regular season it was everything you got, because it wasn't. But you can't control it. It just happens when you're in that do or die situation, kind of like fight or flight kind of thing. And, that's where you see the highest levels.
And we talked with Dave earlier. Luke's brought it up. Calgary coming in here. Yeah, I guess, there's guys that want tape or that are maybe hoping for a contract next year. And then there are going to be guys that it's making straight business decisions for that 3 hours on Saturday.
Well, I think for Calgary, they better, I've been in locker rooms where everybody's job is on the line. And everybody's job in Calgary is on the line. Everybody. So no matter what kind of season, even Reggie Bagleton kind of guy, no matter what, you better be given everything you got, because I think there are a lot of coaches, and I don't blame them for this. I think there are a lot of coaches that look at situations like this, and then they really can find out if a guy really wants it or not. Does he really want it when the standings are out of reach? Does he really want it when you're real down in the score in the third quarter? If you're getting blown out late in the fourth quarter, which players have not quit at all? That's the type of player you want, and that's what you want to build around. So, they'll be watching. management will be watching those guys in Calgary. They're not going to just lie down.
We mentioned it before a few weeks ago. We mentioned it numerous times today. You just mentioned it. The way that teams get hamstrung with the roster requirements, is it time for a change for the requirements for rosters to allow things like resting guys, saving guys to happen, or is the system fine the way it is?
Well, I think the change that, if it's possible, could happen would be to increase the roster size. I mean, that's the simple solution, and do it with Canadians and Americans, or imports, I guess, because we get the odd one from Europe and things like that. But yeah, I think that can be looked at, or should be looked at. The Canadian ratio shouldn't be messed with, shouldn't be touched. Canadian ratio is not something that is there to protect Canadian jobs. It's there to provide Canadians with opportunities that they wouldn't have if there wasn't a ratio. Because it would be so easy, even for a Canadian GM, to go to Texas and do a free agent camp and look at 100 players and say, there's 5 that are maybe pro-ready out of the 100. And in order to get those 5 in Canada, he's got to go to every university across the country and find them. There's just not as many, but they're there. This year, we could possibly have the leading rusher in the league and the leading receiver in the league, both Canadian. And if what I think will happens with Canadian quarterbacks in Trey Ford and Nathan Rourke, it won't be long before a Canadian quarterback is leading the league in all categories as well. And so they can play. It's not about protecting jobs. The ratio is there to provide opportunity for Canadians, fair opportunity.
So if you want to increase the roster size, what is the biggest stumbling block to doing that? And when was the last time that they did it?
You kind of froze there in the question.
Just why? What is the biggest stumbling block in increasing roster sizes? Is it a money thing? Is it a body thing? And when is the last time that they actually did change roster requirements in the CFL?
Yeah, it's been a while. And it is money. It's just flat out money. But again, it's been a great season. It's been a great 3 seasons with the product on the field. I mean, we've talked a lot about games being decided in the final 3 minutes this year. It's about 65% of our games. And, that's outstanding entertainment value. Attendance has been up across the board. Our ratings at TSN are excellent. It's one of the highest rated things, if not the highest rated programming that we do in the regular season of any sport, including hockey. And now we only have regional rights in hockey. But I'm comparing it to Sportsnet's hockey ratings. So, I think all of those indicators are there to suggest that there might be more revenues in the next few years. And gambling has been a part of that too. And gambling organizations that have become big sponsors in the league or with TSN and other entities. So, I think if there is new revenues, a lot of things can be cleaned up by increasing the roster size so that special teams cover players and special team return players are separate from the starting lineup on offense and defense. There'll be less fatigue, less injuries, less penalties. I think you'll see crisper game top to bottom. And maybe even it trickles into more points because, let's be honest, our rules, the field size, the unlimited motion, all of it really do help the offense get an advantage and an edge.
For sure.
Be able to run full speed at the line of scrimmage.
I want to get in a couple more here before we let you go.
Yeah.
Who's starting a quarterback for the BC Lions November 2nd?
Oh, it's VA. It'll be VA. Vernon Adams Jr., he earned the job with that last game, even though Montreal didn't play all their guys. They missed a couple of guys, taking nothing away from Vernon Adams. But, I think when you see what happened out there, I hate to think that anyone on that roster was playing differently or preparing differently because of who was playing quarterback. And then when Vernon Adams got the chance to start again, they just played harder. I hate to think that that is even possible. However, they look different. I mean, the team looked different. Like they were almost sort of supporting this decision and taking that extra little step, almost the playoff step.
Yeah. Speaking of Montreal not playing guys, go to BC. They stink. What do we expect from Montreal? Are you as intrigued as me this game? With Winnipeg coming in, what's Montreal going to do? Are they going to play guys?
I think they are. I as far as I heard, and you go back to the BC game too, and Jason Moss made the decision to play Cody for an entire half. Cody Fajardo played the entire half. I mean, in a game that you can't change your position in the standings, that's risky, but that's what Jason Moss is all about. He said, our standards in practice are that we're all playing, we're going all the way through. It's not resting and getting anyone thinking complacently. We are just going to attack. So I expect to see the starters at least to start the game.
Okay, we've been talking about this all day. You work for TSN. Do you remember when TSN launched? You were still playing when TSN launched, and it was just like they're just trying to fill time on TSN, and they had everything. Like, what are some of the things we've had people messaging in? We've had like billiards was on and bowling and all that. What do you remember?
Darts. I remember 20. I don't even know. I guess that was double 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
And darts, pool. There was some wild.
Kiana's Flex Appeal. Well, come on, we all remember that. That was fantastic programming.
Yeah, no, it's been a long journey, and to think that, first of all, it took a long time for the Canadian Football League and sort of the big players in those boardrooms to believe in TSN to be able to put a championship game on the air and get coast to coast. And by the way, the Eastern playoffs, I'll get Rider fans riled up here. The Eastern playoffs will be on TSN and CTV. The Grey Cup will be on TSN and CTV. The Western playoffs will only be on TSN. So there you go. There's just a little match. Throw it right on the fire and let's go.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen. The texts are going to start to fly in here. And it's amazing the amount of Australian rules football we watched growing up in the 80s that I still have no idea the rules on Australian rules football. And we grew up with it in Canada because it was on like 5 hours a day on TSN.
Well, Marnie, it's Australian rules rugby or football is one of the examples I use when I talk about how we can just be proud of our own football, like our own American style football, which is the CFL. We don't have to always be comparing. In Australian rules, they're different than the rest of the world in their rules in rugby. Different field size, different rules. I don't even know all the intricacies of the differences, but they're a lot different. But you know what? In Australia, it's the number one watch sport. In Australia, their championship game outrates anything that they put on the air ever. Their stadiums are full, and they absolutely love it and are completely behind and proud of their own style of rugby. And I go, that's what Canada can be with our game.
That's a fantastic point, Glenn, because it's Ireland is the same way with hurling. Like they're the only country that plays hurling, and it's their number one sport, and they do it for free. They have a professional hurling league, but the players who play in it work a day job all day, and then they go beat each other's brains in on the hurling field, and they are passionate about it. But it's just an Irish pride.
We came up with the how to expand the rosters in the CFL right now. You just got 5 guys that'll do it for free. We expand it by 5 players. There we go. We figured it out,
They're
boys.
Out there.
Glenn. All right. I think the boys are going to talk to you Thursday. Thanks so much for this, and have a good one. We'll talk to you next week.
Boys, playoffs right around the corner. It's getting tense. I love it. Thanks, guys.
It is. It's good. See you later. That is press coverage with Glen Suitor for Quality Tire, 9 locations across Saskatchewan. I don't even think I know what hurling is.
It's like a combination of like rugby and cricket, and there's like a ball, there's a paddle, there's a huge net at the end. It's amazing. It's actually a really cool sport. It's badass. Like
I thought you were gonna say
it's like
it's
lacrosse.
a combination between like curling and rugby.
Oh yeah, no, it's like
that'd be intense.
Like lacrosse, football.
I'm checking a
and a
picture
racket.
of it right now, and I have no idea how I've never seen or heard this game. Yeah, they got like nothing on for gear.
It's Ireland only. That's why.
Oh, this guy just caught it with his bare hands, and now he's trying to get around a guy. Yeah, they got like some sort of. They got like it's like a lacrosse-ish stick, but it's a paddle because this guy just. And this guy just smashed it into the stands. Are these people in the stands participating as well?
No, there's
I love
a
it.
net at the end that that they're trying to hit.
Oh, have you gone to a live game?
No, but when we were there was like two towns were having like their championship, and the place was crazy. Like it is intense rivalries, just like kind of like English football.
God, wow! Look at this.
Like it is unreal. And the beauty of it, like I said, is it's all amateurs. Like that's the difference. They're doing it for nothing.
Not even sticks and gas. They're just out there.
Not even sticks and gas.
I love it. Having fun. Oh, wow. Okay, let's get into this Kennison Super Draft in a bit. We'll take a break. If you're watching the all-new Sports Cage on the stream, sportscage.com, and we are your official home for hurling on 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Busy Bee Doors. Busy Bee will repair or replace your residential or commercial garage doors so you don't get stuck in or out. Catch the buzz. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Saskatchewan is a great place to live. Our economy is strong and our future is bright. Now you have a choice to make. You can vote to keep Saskatchewan strong and growing, or we can take a step back to the NDP days of losing people, jobs, and opportunities, watching our taxes go up and our province decline. Let's never go back to that. Let's keep our economy strong and our future bright. Vote for Saskatchewan. Vote for the Saskatchewan Party.
Authorized by the financial agents for all provincial Saskatchewan Party candidates.
Step right up to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln. See the amazing weekly Ringmaster specials. Find a better deal on any new Ford and we'll give you $1,000 in cold hard cash. Introducing Cash for Clunkers, guaranteeing a minimum $3,000 for your trade. Bring the whole family down for food, games, and your chance to win thousands in amazing prizes. Hurry, hurry, hurry to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week, it's an all-inclusive trip to the Dominican Republic, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
No dugout in the pasture? You could move the cows or just put the water where the cows are. With a Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. If your cows are over here, put your Keln Solar Livestock Watering System over here. If they're over there, put it over there. If the cows are on the roof, you have weird cows. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water.
I'm delving in? What does that even mean? Can you only delve into something? Because you know what I like to do? Delve out of Saskatchewan winters. But at least your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Discoverer True North winter tires. Cooper Discoverer True North winter tires provide exceptional grip and traction in the snow and ice. See your local Cooper tire dealer for Cooper Discoverer True North winter tires. They'll help you delve into winter driving conditions.
The Gleaner S98 is the culmination of a century of unique design and performance, adding more harvest performance through operator comfort, new technology, and simplified serviceability. The Gleaner S98 is a combine designed to propel your business forward. Gleaner's simple design drastically reduces compaction and increases fuel savings. Learn more about the Gleaner S98 at Nick's Service in Emerald Park or visit them online at nickservice.com.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League Report on the all-new Sportscage. The SJHL Report is brought to you by Southie Mainline, the Mainline Automotive Group's newest king of trucks. Southie Mainline, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Worth the drive, every time, guaranteed.
Oh, Benny, looking sharp up there. If you're watching on the stream, you see young Benny in his, it's a nice suit. Really nice suit. You're up. You're in the Whitney Forum doing this?
I am in the Whitney Forum, yeah. Legendary Whitney Forum, just looking around the banners. I did my walk around like I do each and every time I come here to see all the old pictures. It's something, if you haven't been up here to watch a game, it's something special, that's for sure.
Will there be moose leg if they win tonight? Will they throw the moose leg on the ice?
Yes, they will. They'll be at center ice, and the whole team will go around the center ice circle, and they'll do a little bit of a salute to their crowd. Yep.
Oh,
hopefully it doesn't happen tonight, though. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
Wow. Yeah. Yorkton Terriers are in town. Yorkton Terriers who are now appealing the ruling about using an illegal player. Let's go into that because Harry and I were kind of joking about it earlier. It seems like it probably would be a pretty short ruling period. It's like, was this kid registered? No. Did you play him? Yes. Okay, we're done here. What grounds are they going to go on?
Yeah, exactly. It's something that's clerical error, incorrect error. There's still a lot of arguments here and there right now, and I think the argument from the Terrier side is what took so long for somebody to pick up on this? What took long for maybe the league or another teams to pick up on this, and so on and so forth. So it's something that they have to do. I know the organization put out the press release. They have to defend their team and do into the appeal period. We'll see if that'll be successful or not. But it's talking to the guys even here. It's something that they think about. But that dressing room is pretty strong right now, and they've been playing some pretty good hockey here last number of weeks and for the rest of the season, or for the first part of the season here. So it's a team that's pretty strong in there. So I'm sure they won't let this bother them too much here, and they're just going to focus on tonight and go 1-0 here tonight.
Have you ever heard or seen anything like this before? I've heard about it like senior hockey style, where a team tries to slide a guy in, or even minor hockey. It's like, oh no, Zachary, he lives in this town. His parents have a condo over there. But I've never seen it. Have you ever seen it in like the SJ or junior level, Benny?
Not this many, maybe games. Maybe one game you might see, and they might lose that game or something like that. I think I've seen it once or twice in my over my 10 or 12 years I've been into it. But no, it doesn't happen very often. I know the carded system usually works pretty good, efficiently, but sometimes there's a little bit of an error there, or some team's judgment gets there. So yeah, it's happened before, but yeah, you don't see it very often.
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
Do you think
Go ahead, Terry.
Do you think that they would be satisfied with maybe a reduction then? Like maybe one game they lose and they uphold? Like just because if it is a clerical error, or why did the league take so long, maybe they'll use the excuse like, well, maybe just one game and the fine instead of the 3.
Yeah, exactly. Or you have to search in other teams you've played over the year that say maybe go in depthly of each kind of game they've played and look at their rosters to make sure they were satisfied and make sure they are registered too. So it's a lot of due diligence now, maybe for some other teams to look into it. I know they don't want to open up a big can of worms that way, but definitely interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, that's exactly. Just bring in the bankers boxes. All right, we need you guys to go through every single one of these game sheets since 2010. No. So what else? What else this week here in the league are you keeping your eyes on here, Benny?
Well, first off, this trip for Yorkton, like with everything going on with the situation with the last couple of days, to see how they react in this 4-game road trip. They're on 4 games in 5 nights. They're here and they're in Larange, and then Kindersley is playing some good hockey on Friday and Saturday. To see how they react See if the Weyburn Red Wings can sustain. They've won 7 games in a row. They're the hottest team right now in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, and they got 2 big tests this weekend. They play Melville on Friday, then the Melfort Musk, 2 top teams on day. So it's a big test for Weyburn as well to see what happens there. So it's a big week, and it's also the last couple of weeks or last week or so for players to get showcased for the SJHL Western Canadian Showcase with Manitoba. So those rosters will be announced on November 1st. So it's a big week that way, but I'm going to see if this Weyburn Red Wings team can keep it for real, and they have 2 big tests here coming up this weekend.
Okay, our Saudi Mainline Chrysler worth the drive game this weekend or this week. What are we going with?
Ooh, that's a tough one right now. I'm probably going to go with that game in Weyburn, Malville at Weyburn. Two top teams right now in the Viterra division. Weyburn's the hottest team. Malville's playing some pretty good hockey as well. So I'm going to go with probably Weyburn and Malville. So a short drive there from the Queen City to go down to Weyburn and maybe go to the KFC buffet there and have a quick snack before the game.
Oh, right on. That's a heck of a call. Friday, and that's the night after Jeremy Roenick's event. So people will be looking for maybe some grease before the game on Friday. Okay, Benny, you look really sharp. You're putting on some kilometers this weekend. Thanks for doing this. Travel safe.
Problem, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good week.
Hold on. Chikai. Before I let you go, I got to ask you. So you're on the road, aren't you? Isn't your Melville team? Who do you guys have here in the playoffs?
Yeah, I'm relying on my coaches, other coaching staff to play. We're playing Tisdale on Saturday on home turf. So actually, I'm doing only 3 games this week, and I'm going to see if I can boogie back to Melville for Saturday's game against Tisdale. So it might be a lot of kilometers. I might have to rely on some family members and maybe to pick me up along the way and take me back. So it's going to be very interesting.
If you hitchhike outside of L'Orange, can you just video it for me, please? And then send me that whole experience. That'll be interesting.
Well, we'll actually be in Kindersley on Wednesday or on Friday, so that might be definitely an interesting experience too. But yeah,
that highway's awful. Don't hitchhike on that highway. Way too busy. Travel safe, Benny.
See you guys. Take care.
That is the SJHL report. It is for Saudi Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks, worth the drive every time in Saudi, guaranteed right now. 18,000 off select Ram 1500s in Saudi, 15% off Pacificas, and 1,500 bonus cash on Jeep Grand Cherokees. And the snows are going to start flying here right away, and you're going to be sitting thinking, why don't I have a 4x4 like a Jeep? Why am I driving this rear-wheel drive? Whatever. No, yeah. So thanks to Benny. He's up in Flin Flon. A lot of miles for him this week. You ever been up to Flin Flon?
I have never.
I know. I want to go and watch a game there. Last year, the playoffs.
Playoffs would be good. If I was going to go. If I was going to make that trek, it's going to be playoffs. I'm not going for Wednesday night game 32 of the season.
You know what would be? I would like to know what the golfing is like up there.
I heard of one course. It's a 9-holer, but it's supposed to be pretty good. They have a match play tournament there every year on Labor Day. They do a Labor Day tournament, match play tournament. Yeah. Phantom Lake, I think.
Colson?
Phantom Lake Golf Course.
That's the first thing that came up when I looked. So
Phantom
Lake Golf Course. It's a nice little 9-holer.
Oh, a little 9-banger match play tournament. I bet you if you went up in like June, you're getting sun until probably 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, Flin Flon. Where life makes sense. No, that's not their slogan. That's somebody else. Swift Currents, wasn't it? It's all new Sportscage, streaming live, sportscage.com.
The new king of trucks in Saudi Saskatchewan is Saudi Mainline Chrysler. Get $1,500 bonus cash on select Jeep Grand Cherokees. You can also get up to 15% off on select Pacificas, up to $18,000 off on select Ram 1500s, or 0.99% for 72 months financing. It's the new king of trucks in Saudi Saskatchewan, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Visit SaudiMainline.ca. Saudi Mainline Chrysler, worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
Another great opportunity is here with Yorkton Auction Center. The Gabbard Farm Auction is open for bidding and will be closing Wednesday, October 23rd. Don't miss your chance to bid on grain trucks, a cat scraper, Kello disc, heavy harrows, augers, and more. The clock is ticking. Get in on the action and place your bids now. It's the Gabbert Farm Auction closing Wednesday, October 23rd. Visit yacauctions.com. That's yacauctions.com.
Let's define performance. Something gets burning up the pavement, turning a corner at high speed. But isn't it more about predictability and reliability? The Toyo Proxys line of premium performance tires have been tested under extreme conditions. Toyo is driving to produce a tire that performs well, whatever your course may be. Toyo tires, driven to perform, especially when you need the most. See Quality Tire with 9 locations in Saskatchewan.
QualityTire.ca. Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Some will try to tell you 8 inches is enough. Others will say 10 inches will do. But when you want a lot of pizza, you gotta hanker down with the delicious 13-inch pepperoni from Western Pizza. Why mess with a good thing? You know what you want. 13 inches of pepperoni pizza perfection from Western Pizza. Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or take out. Order today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Imagine 1 million meals. What a wonderful thought. The Regina Food Bank would like you to help us raise 1 million meals by joining the Mosaic Meal Mile. We're asking the community to help us create a mile-long trail of food around the concourse of Mosaic Stadium. Bring your donations to the stadium on October 22nd from 10 to 4 to help feed our community. When you sponsor yards, we'll provide the food items needed to build a mile-long food path, and your team gets to have some fun while fighting hunger. Visit reginafoodbank.ca.
Your opinion does matter. Call or text us 306-936-6262. Driven by Capital Ford Lincoln, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. CapitalFordLincoln.com on 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
Go ahead, sir.
I wanted to drop this nugget on you because with this Yorkton situation makes me think of Danny Almonte.
Oh, Little League World Series.
Yeah.
Cuba? Or no, New York. We lost your audio. We got audio issues. Yeah, but I remember that. It was Little League World Series. We'll try and fix Harry's audio here. 2-0 Washington, Philadelphia, NHL. We talked about this earlier. It's crazy in the NHL today. 40 hours of hockey during a 7.5-hour span. Every NHL team is playing Frozen Frenzy. It is dubbed. Canadian teams, obviously, if everyone's playing, all the Canadian teams are in action. I can tell you that the Flames are home to the Pens. The Oilers will welcome the Carolina Hurricanes. Jets are in St. Louis. Canucks are in Chi-Town. Ottawa Senators and Utah, Rangers and Canadians in Montreal. The Leafs are traveling to Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets. So lots of hockey if you want to gamble. Western Hockey League down the road from where I'm standing right now in Moose Jaw. Seattle is in town to take on the Warriors. The other game in the Western League tonight is Everett and Kamloops. We just talked to Benny Walchuk in our Southie Mainline Chrysler SJHL report. Yorkton, Flin Flon tonight in the SJ. Weyburn at Humboldt. Melfort welcomes the Battlefords. So that is your hockey rundown. Nothing but hockey this evening. Football-wise, Sunday, We're going to be talking about this for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, hoping to get one of the players on. Regina Thunder are in the PFC, or the Canadian semifinal, not PFC. They won the PFC. They're in the Canadian semifinal, 1 p.m. on Sunday against the Okanagan Sun.
CJFL.
National semifinal. We can go national junior semifinal. Semantics. 1 o'clock. Should be a packed one. I think the Maz and Dave are getting Murad on later this week. Scott said about 1,000 people in Libel, so I'm expecting hopefully we can pack that place and show the Okanagan what home field advantage is all about. The Riders taking on, Stamps was giving away those tickets. 936-6262. SaskTel picked the score. Still a few minutes to get ready or to get in on that. We need your name, number, where you're from, and also the score of the game. Marcus Sales has been awesome for the Riders this year. Today at practice, Dave had a chance to catch up with the defensive back.
Marcus Sales, a very different preparation week for the final week of the regular season. You could be playing a game that determines first place in your division. You could be playing a game that doesn't amount to much in the standings. So how do you approach the week?
Just like every other week. I mean, Coach preaches going 1-0, and, even though we're playing a team that's not in the playoffs, we can't take them lightly. They're playing, not just, for this next week, but they're playing for their jobs. They're playing for next year, and, when a team's hungry like that, you can't take them lightly. So we just got to go and be prepared just like every other week.
Of course, you play for first should Montreal defeat Winnipeg here on Saturday, right before you kick off. Is it hard not to think about the outcome of that game?
I mean, honestly, it's going to be something we're going to be looking out for. Because it does determine what our standings are going to look like. But at the same time, it's something we can't control. And as long as we take care of our business, hopefully the chips land the way we want them to. But at the same time, we just got to make sure we finish what we got to do.
So let's get back to the job that's at hand. Do you like where your team is at right now?
No, we're good. We're on the upside. We won the last couple games, and it feels good going into the playoffs on that high horse compared to where we had our little slump. So it feels good. We're back on track, and hopefully we can continue this going into the playoffs.
So the bye week obviously is going to be the bye week. Did you approach it any differently, being as late as it is in the season?
Well, me personally, I stayed out here. I just got my body right. I was just making sure that I was going to be good going into the playoffs. I know some guys stayed out here too, probably a little bit more than previous weeks, but everybody just needed a little bit of downtime, get some time off, go see their family, and I feel like everybody's going to be locked in by the time we got all back.
So we've talked before, Marcus, about building momentum heading towards the playoffs. How do you do that?
Man, just like I've been saying, keep going 1-0, and just keep telling the guys what else that we can do more, what else can we do extra, because at this point of the season, everybody's going to be locked in, everybody's going to be giving more effort, everybody's going to be giving just a little bit more of than they probably would on a normal week. So at the same time, if we can do that, and we can get a little bit extra film, a little extra working out, or doing more in the training room, it's all going to pay off.
So even though it isn't out of your control finishing first in the West, what would winning the division mean to this team?
Oh, it will mean a lot. Just, especially not making the playoffs the last couple of years for this team, and, it feel good for the fans. They deserve it. And, we feel like we're in a good position of, being a good team, being in a position of winning a Grey Cup, and that's going to continue to be our mentality. Our mentality is not going to change. We feel as if, we stay locked in every single week, the Grey Cup is going to be ours. So, we feel like if we stay locked in, and I think it's all going to work out for us. So,
yeah. Marcus Sales, the Riders were back on the practice field today. Coach Mace did talk about, he scares us right off the start of this. He talking about a certain someone who wasn't on the field today.
Coach, we come back from the bye week. No Roland Milligan Jr. on the practice field today. Can you update his status?
No, he'll be fine. I think just the sniffles or something. We send people home for the sniffles these days. So, no, I'm just joking. He was under the weather, so we're just playing it smart. Don't want to get anybody else sick.
Malik Carney, who is on the 6-game injured list, was back and taking reps with the first-team defense. Is there a chance we see him this week?
Yeah, just one of those things. We'll see. See how he feels out there on the practice field. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Obviously a different week of preparation in the fact that you could be battling for a first place spot, or you could be playing a game that won't have any bearing on the final standings. So how do you approach the week?
Yeah, I just, like any week, to be honest with you, we can only control what we can, and we're trying to win a game this week. So, again, we stick to what we do and try to handle business like we try to do every week. That's the best thing we can do for this team. So that's all we can focus on.
So knowing that you need Montreal to beat Winnipeg before you get to the game to play a game for first place, are you going to watch that one before you get out on the field here?
Yeah, I don't know about watching it until, after our game's done, but I'm sure someone's going to tell me. I would hope somebody tells me something, but, timing-wise, it'll be obviously pretty tight, but, it's game day. You can ask my wife. I'm a bit of a weirdo, so I'm just going to be totally dialed on what we're doing. So, I'm sure somebody will tell
me that. Ask my wife. I love it. Yeah, no, scoreboard watching. That's what everybody is going to be doing on Saturday when it comes to the Riders. Hey, out there, if you have a high school football game that we should be focusing on, that's a tough one. hi@sportscage.com is the email address. We keep getting, there's some of you out there, I absolutely love it. Super passionate about your teams. We want to know what games to hype up. Now, a lot of them, Harry, can you hear me? Now?
Yeah.
We got you? Okay.
Yeah.
So, in the city, we got Miller Leboldus. We're talking 6A here, old school. Miller and Leboldus Friday at 5:15. Campbell Riffle. I might actually try and get to this game, NOD style. That's at 7:30 at Mosaic. Those are the Regina 6As. And then I look across the board for 9A. Well, the other 12, the 12A, 5-a-side too. There's Saturday games, right? Because there's so much traveling now. It's small towns. Benny Walchuk, we heard that his Melville team's hosting Tisdale. Yeah, it's all over the map here. 6-a-side, Wynyard, Clavette. That's shaping up to be a doozy. Carrot River and Lemberg. Carrot River's got a bit of a jaunt to take on Lemberg in the 6A playoffs there. So let us know. hi@sportscage.com. Which ones should we really be focusing on here Friday for Friday Night Lights? It's brought to you by Regina Motor Products, where you can get $20 off your tire changeover right now at Regina Motor Products. They love supporting their high school football and Saskatchewan. Still a few minutes left, Colson, for people who want to win tickets. So, yeah, if you're just tuning into the program, it could be your lucky day. 936-6262. SaskTel pick the score. If you want to win a couple of tickets to the Rider game against the Stabs, need your name, number, and score, and where you're from. Send that in. And as well on the stream, what is this? What is this thing? I'm holding up something to say what that is, and then we're going to give away 2 tickets to people watching the stream as well. Hey, you reward the people that are watching the stream. That is a cool
100%.
Cool little nugget. With all this hockey going on, let's take a quick break, and then you and I are going to come back, and we're going to talk Keniston Super Draft.
Sweet.
It is the all-new Sports Cage. If you're watching that stream at sportscage.com, and as always, we are on the radio at 620 CKRM.
The new king of trucks in Southeast Saskatchewan is Southie Mainline Chrysler. Get $1,500 bonus cash on select Jeep Grand Cherokees. You can also get up to 15% off on select Pacificas, up to $18,000 off on select Ram 1500s, or 0.99% for 72 months financing. It's the new king of trucks in Southeast Saskatchewan, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Visit SouthieMainline.ca. Southie Mainline Chrysler, worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
Dreyfus Yorkton has over 150 years combined with their marketing team. The web portal, MyLDC, will keep you up to date from upcoming contracts to the latest canola bids and LDC news. Download the MyLDC app today and stay in touch. Call 1-877-782-8882. That's 1-877-782-8882. Or visit ldcyorkton.com. Louis Dreyfus Yorkton.
The world-famous Keniston Super Draft is back for the NHL season, and $90,000 is up for grabs. Everyone is vying for the $20,000 first-place prize. Be one of 14 winners of $1,000. What young guys will have breakout years? Bedard, Bratt, which Hughes brother will go off, or take all of them? Entries are just $40 each, 3 for $100 or 7 for $200. Find some buddies and get in on some real NHL pool action with the Keniston Super Draft. Superdraft.com. Entry deadline November 1st, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
The luxury of Mercedes-Benz has never been more within reach with the fall demo event at Mercedes-Benz Regina. Save up to $32,000 on select models like the luxurious EQE 350. Get the premium performance and elegance Mercedes-Benz is known for, but with unmatched value when you choose certified pre-owned. Take advantage of the opportunity to experience the Mercedes-Benz you've always dreamed of, without compromise. Book your test drive at Mercedes-Benz Regina.
Your Crawford's No Frills is here for you as the weather gets cooler and warm meals are being served around the family table. Crawford's No Frills considers themselves to be family, which explains their low prices. You wouldn't overcharge family, would you? The Crawford's No Frills family have great tasting quality food, special deals, and customers. So visit and plan your next family meal at No Frills. No bells, no whistles, no frills. Say yes to Crawford's No Frills. We won't be beat.
The all-new Sports Cage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back, all new Sports Cage. It has been a fun show. That first hour, if you want to see a couple of idiots go at it, wow, was that something else? I'm actually going to say 3 because Colson, I'm throwing you in that pot there because you were the one that kind of...
You're feeding the misinformation. He's the one who started it all. He's the catalyst.
He is the catalyst.
It's a Tuesday. Not my best work.
Oh, it was so funny. It is one of the all-timers. I haven't laughed that hard in such a long time. We were talking about TSN when it first came on, how like the sports that they had on there. And if you're in our demo, you remember it was just like weird stuff. They didn't have NHL rights. They didn't have CFL rights. They didn't have NFL, definitely. They were just filling it with billiards and Australian rules football and
nothing but flex appeal.
Kiana's flex appeal. That's right. Did you ever look it up? You ever watch? I'm going to challenge you to watch an episode tonight. Kiana's flex appeal. What did you say? Fishing, Harry?
Yeah, Bob Azumi's Real Fish in Canada.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I know who Bob Azumi is.
Yeah, he had his own. It's funny because there was always the controversy with the fishing shows that they had the fish in cages and that they would release them and they would catch them so that they didn't have just 5 hours of them just sitting in a boat BSing.
Dog kennels. We talked about it on the podcast, how guys cheat with and then they kind of dabbled in like the big thing. I think one of the big things that could be wrong here. I just remember my dad sit on the couch and just yell at the TV. But I think they first started dabbling in curling. Like CBC, like Don Whitman here at the Briar. But then TSN really, I think, started dabbling in the curling thing. And then, they expanded it from there. But there was some weird stuff back in the day. And then we brought it up because every single NHL game you can find to watch today and every single team is playing. Like there's the Rangers and Red Wings are on now. Washington's up on Philly. It's just all over the map. Speaking of NHL, guess Harry, who the leading scorer in the National Hockey League right now is after 5 games.
I think I saw this the other day, and it's somebody super obscure that you like. I guarantee you that they are not going to be there at the end of the year. I have no idea.
He's a good. Can I give you a hint?
Yeah.
Bread.
Oh, Panarin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Temi Panarin.
Obscure. He could be there.
You know what? First off, I pulled a Colson. I lied. He's tied with 3 other. He's tied with 2 other guys.
Don't worry about facts. He's the leading scorer. It's all good.
It's entertainment. We'll figure out the facts later. Sam Reinhart. He's tied with Sam Reinhart from Florida and Cale Makar. So the Keniston Super Draft is back. November 1st is the deadline. So that's creeping up. We got like a week here. And if you've never gone into the Kenniston Super Draft, but you like hockey and following along, it's a wild ride for the season. I'm sure if you're watching the stream, this is what it looks like. You can go online and get it, KennistonSuperDraft.com, and then it has boxes of players. And then at the bottom, though, is where you have the write-ins. So that's where you kind of look at, guys that are maybe not in the leading scorer right now. Like I bet you this guy. Hold on. See if I'm wrong. Yeah. So right now, Anton Lindell for Florida, he's got 8 points. So, but he's in there. He's the 14th leading scorer in the National Hockey League right now. He is not in the box for Florida. So you could write him on the bottom. He could be one of your write-ins. Regardless, you got to pick 32 players. Now, who are the where's my pen here? Who are the autos while you're on the program with us today? So obviously we let Jamarcus Hardrick last week pick our first guy, and he's no dummy. He says Connor McDavid. Good pick. And then it was yesterday where RP said his next guy, Nikita Kucherov. Not a bad play as well. Who should be our third pick, Harry? Who's the guy that's just auto going to get points?
I would say either McKinnon or Eichel.
Let's take them both. McKinnon still plays for the Colorado Avalanche. There he is right there. And Eichel for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Jack Eichel. He was on that show. I didn't mind him. Yeah, he got a good deal. Like he's talking about, I loved Buffalo and it's where I started and all that. And it's like you could hear the door slam from the HBC Arena or whatever when they said Jack Eichel has been gone.
It's funny because when I was watching it, when he was doing his presser in Buffalo and he's talking about the coach, he's a coach's coach. Like you could just see that he was dead inside. That he was just like they had beaten every last ounce of life and zest for life that he had left in him. And once he left, he was just like brand new, like Brooks and Dunn style, brand new man.
Heavy Ronnie Dunn. I know. He had that neck issue. And I think that everything worked out. It's like, no, I'm going to go over to Switzerland and get a guy to look at it, and then over to Kazakhstan, wherever he went to get people to look at his neck. And then they couldn't, they became at odds. And it was like, we got to move this guy. And it's not like, hey, we're going to move him to, Calgary or Ottawa or somewhere. It's like, hey, go to the best team in the league, by the way.
Yeah. The thing I find funny about that, too, is you're in Buffalo, New York, right? There's 8 billion people on the planet. And you're going to tell me that as doctors in Buffalo that you know everything there is to know about this neck injury, that he can't shop around and get another opinion from some clinic in Bern or in Milan or somewhere. There's not somebody in the planet that knows, especially specializes in this type of surgery. And you're like, nope, our doctors, they recommend this, and that's it. Like Buffalo really screwed themselves over the way they handled that whole situation.
Yeah, it's tough being a Sabres fan. Okay, so we locked in those two guys on our Kenniston Super Draft. We'll be playing this for the next week and a half. We did learn what's Flin Flon's slogan? Where life makes sense is swift currents. Curtis, it was Flin Flon. Curtis can't even hear me.
The wild in the water.
The
water
wild
in the wild.
and the water. The wild in the water?
In the water. I think that's
wild
what it
in
was.
the water is Flin Flon's town motto.
Sorry, I didn't want to answer. I don't give out false information like Colson.
Appreciate it.
Erroneous information. Harry, thanks so much, buddy. Colson,
as
Curtis,
always.
Good job. Go back and listen to the podcast if you want an absolute laugh in hour one, or just send hate mail. Either or. It doesn't matter. I'm back tomorrow. It's been fun. Talk to you again, Sportscage people.
It's 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News. A conflict